Are you posting videos over and over again on your channel and not getting any views? I know it can be frustrating because I know you're putting time into these videos and it feels like no one is watching. Well, that's exactly how Cassandra felt. She was working hard to make videos around her full-time job, but nothing was clicking. But after being a part of our monthly group coaching program here at Think Media, she made one tweak in her strategy, and all of a sudden, she started getting 10,000 views a day on her channel and making income on autopilot. Her story's incredible, and in this episode, she's gonna share this strategy with you, and make sure that you stick around until the end because she shares what she wished she would have done sooner to get ahead on YouTube. Welcome to the Think Marketing Show, the #1 podcast for growing and scaling your business with online video. I'm your host, Heather Torres.
And I'm Sean Cannell, and we're from Think Media. And if this is your first time listening, we are fired up. You're here.
This show is dedicated to helping you learn how to get your content noticed and the latest money-making strategies that are working right now online. So whether you want to grow your YouTube channel or you're ready to maximize video across all of social media, then this podcast is for you.
Hello and welcome back to the Think Marketing Podcast. I am so excited for today's episode because I am sitting here with Cassandra Thompson from Cass Thompson Consulting, who really helps people land their careers and build kind of their portfolio as a professional, but is crushing it on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and we're going to actually be talking about 4 tips for YouTube today. Plus, we're getting a chance to highlight one of our inner circle members who has just been a rock star student. She's been doing some cool stuff with putting together a course that's now been selling as like a tripwire. We're going to get into all of that. But how are you doing?
I'm good. It's fun to be here.
It's fun to have you on the show. It's been awesome to have you a part of our community over the years. But I've just been so impressed with just the results that you're getting, with the action that you've been taking. And so we're going to get into that. But for those that are just meeting you, what's kind of your backstory as far as what you do professionally?
Yes, so I'm a career consultant and speaker. I help people build relationships to achieve career goals. So whether that's their next promotion, job searching, or even in a business. And my background was in television. So I was in casting for a long time and made a leap to become on the career side.
I love that. And when was it that you first got into creating content and building your brand online?
Yeah, well, I've had LinkedIn since it started, but with YouTube, it was about 3 years ago. So what is that? 2017.
I love that. And now your YouTube channel is like over 40,000 subscribers.
Yep.
One of your videos is coming up on 1 million views.
Yes.
And another one you said is growing even faster.
Yes.
It's going to surpass that. Before we get into the tips?
I need your arms around me. I need to feel your touch.
Baby, I'm tired of waiting. Go recharge your batteries, come back to me and make your mama proud.
I need your arms around me. I need to feel your touch, and I really wanna talk.
We aren't for everyone. And if you think we are, skip now. Because we are for those who see what most don't. Those who understand that perfection takes time and that compromise wastes it. Those who don't just notice fine details, but are moved by them. Those who have spent a lifetime cultivating their taste. We are for those who know the difference is Gaggenau.
Overview of the power of YouTube. You've been consistent now for 3 years. You've really been dialing in your strategy over the last year. Why should everybody viewing and listening double down on YouTube and pay attention to YouTube for building their brand?
Number one, because I think it's a great way to help people. If you're on it for educational or business purposes, it's a great way to be able to help people, build a community, and then on the more functional side, I think YouTube is the best platform to then take from and disseminate everywhere else. So it's great for that as well.
I totally agree. And you're getting results, and speak to even just in our Inner Circle program, we talk about creating like a baby offer, baby course. And you did that because you're a
Yes.
massive action taker. But then you've also kind of repositioned it as just kind of a low ticket offer. And it's selling kind of like crazy because of YouTube. What are some of the results you've been getting?
Yeah, so I created the baby offer, or like the mini course. It's kind of this sort of thing you can do in an hour, and I wasn't really promoting it. It was in my description, and then I made it my tripwire. When you sign up for my freemium, an interview prep checklist, after you've signed up, it pops up saying like, hey, do you want this course for only $9? I sell probably 3 a day, which is not going to pay my rent, but it takes care of all my business expenses, including like a VA.
And that's a lot of passive income because of videos
Yes.
you've already made.
Right.
And your list is building, you're making some income, and it's really
Yeah.
just the tip of the iceberg, which is kind of why we talk about it, because
Yeah.
from there you can scale up.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's shocking too to me of all I had to do was I mean, the course was already there. I had to make a landing page. It took an hour, and it's bringing in such great income every month. So it's great.
I love that. And then there's also, they always say, the difference between like a paying customer and just like somebody who gives you their email is huge.
Yes,
So being able
that's
to
why I
take
did
people
it.
to the next step or to do consulting with you or coaching with you, like they're already at another level.
Right. Yeah, that's why I did it. Is somebody talked about how you get them to pay for this. A person who's paid is, I think, 70% more likely to buy from you again. And I went, well, then we are making this at a discounted rate.
That's
so,
right.
Yes.
Man, that's so awesome. But let's get into these tips. And you now, again, you're getting massive momentum on YouTube. How often do you post?
So I was posting twice a week. I am reevaluating starting this month and going down to once a week to really make it like really fine tune some things.
And how do you sustain that? Like, how long does that take you? Do you batch videos?
I have batched since day one. So I do all my planning at one point. All my scripting is done over a week. And then I batch all videos on a Saturday morning.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And your first tip is consistency. What do you mean by that?
So if you're just starting out, you have to show up every week or whatever your plan was. Now, you just heard me say I'm switching my plan, but I'm still showing up every week. And I think in the beginning or even 6 months in, you might have 6 views. Like, that's something people don't talk about all the time, is it might take a while to build. And I think the mistake I made was I got frustrated no one was watching, took like a 5-month break, and came back and went, you are showing up every week, whether you have 0 views on last week's video or not. Just keep coming back, because that consistency builds viewership more than anything else.
I love that. And yeah, consistency is absolutely key. And YouTube takes time to build momentum.
Yes.
You're experiencing that momentum now.
Yes.
So I hope that can be just encouraging if you're watching or listening to this, that it's going to start out and be discouraging even. You're going to be putting in more work than the results you're getting. But eventually you kind of hit a tipping point where now you're experiencing the benefits of videos breaking out. They're bringing you subscribers, growth, whether you're working or not.
Right. Yes. And I think that's true. The video that is my top video right now, it had been filmed, or it had been on YouTube for 4 months before all of a sudden, wait, it has 1,000 views? Where did that come from? And then something took off in the algorithm that it just started gaining like crazy. But if you looked at the analytics, it is a flat line and then goes up.
Yeah.
4 months after it was posted.
And I love that you say that, because from all of our research and studying our multiple channels, we are seeing videos pop at day 30, day 45, day 55, and there's not a lot you can do around that. The point is put out quality content, be consistent, and then trust the process, because as you keep putting out videos, you don't necessarily know which video is going to pop,
right?
But you just want to stay consistent, which brings us to number 2, which is double down on what's working. So once you see some videos working, what have you done?
Right. So I did content on interviewing, like 1 question at a time. I think I did 4. And
on
then that
job interviews,
on job,
right?
yes. I always say interviewing because to me that's the only kind, but this is an interview. So yes, job interviews in particular. And I had done like 4 of them, and then that one took off, and I went, well, now we are doing the top 10 questions. So let me do an individual video for each one of the questions. Then I did a top 5 job interview questions, then a top 10 interview questions, and then what other job interview pieces do people have? Oh, they get nervous around job interviews. Let's do a video just on that. So that is like the cornerstone of my content now, branching out into other things, but that is what people really connected with me on. And so it just seemed natural that you're gonna focus in even harder on that thing.
Well, and that's powerful because yes, it's the cornerstone, but it's the cornerstone of growth.
Right.
Growth leads to subscribers, leads to building relationships with you, which gives the opportunity to talk about other things.
Yes.
But you found the thing, the topic, the video idea that triggered growth for you, so you kept doubling down. So I'd love to hear that. If you're watching this on YouTube, tell us in the comments, have you found that hot topic in your channel or a particular video that's blown up? You know, for me, it was best camera for YouTube. Seems obvious now, but years ago, I didn't realize that it was really, I really want to know what camera. I need help with just the camera. It wasn't even microphone or other things. Those do okay. It was camera. And so every year I make the same one. Then I started doing best vlogging camera, best 4K camera, and all the like spin-offs.
Right.
And so that's exactly what you did. That's so powerful.
Yeah. I also bought my DSLR because of you. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And tip number 3 here is trim the fluff. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I think when you're getting started on YouTube, you hear all the different things about like, it needs to be this long. Like there was a time period, it's gone now, but there was a time period where everyone said longer content is doing it, 12, 15-minute content, then it was shorter, whatever. What I realized is it doesn't matter what any of that says, it's how long do you need to tell the story or to give the information and then get out. People are busy. They can't, if your content is like mine in that educational space, people came for an answer to solve a problem, solve the problem and go. And so I will give a formula or how to answer something, give an example, because I think people do want an example, but they don't need 4 examples. So I give the example and then it's, hey, bye, get the freemium, you know, watch the next video.
Yep.
Let's move you on to where I answer your other question instead of trying to keep you on this platform. Because also I think a lot of people are focused on average view duration and wanting that to be high. And not thinking about average percentage viewed. And if you're getting in and getting out, your percentage viewed is through the roof. And I think that's why some of my videos are where they are now.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And we've noticed that if you can get the average amount of people watching your videos to watch at least 60% or more, it triggers the algorithm like crazy. So if you optimize your content, a great friend of the Think Marketing podcast and mentor in my life, Shalene Johnson, always says, and you know the quote, be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. Don't try to stretch out the content. Keep it concise. Keep it high impact. If you can get a few people, no matter how many subscribers you have, you got 100 subscribers, watching 60% or more, it's going to start spreading in the algorithm because YouTube values time on platform. And so really optimize those videos.
Yep.
I love that. And so we're going to get into tip number 4 in just a second. But wherever you're watching or listening to us, it would mean the world to us if you're getting value to hit the like button and rate or review the podcast. And also share this with somebody that needs to hear this. I love your story. It's so inspiring to see the growth, see the results you're getting, and the journey. Because I know that sometimes when you're trying to build a business, grow a YouTube channel or social media platforms, it can be tough. So we'd love it if you're getting value about this. Think about that one person that would love the Think Marketing podcast and share this with them. But tip number 4 is invest in your education. What do you mean by that?
So I think I spent a long time just watching everybody's free content, which there is amazing free content out there. This is amazing free content, right? I think I held on too long to that and trying to just do it on my own. And just like anything in life, you should seek help. So if that is all you can afford is $15 to buy YouTube Secrets, go buy the book. It's going to help you. If you can invest more, join somebody's course, join a group coaching program, whatever level you can be at. But I wish I had invested in it more quickly. because I think I would have grown further faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, I would love to ask you, as a shameless plug to Inner Circle,
Yeah.
how long have you been a part of Inner Circle now?
I want to say it was May of 2019.
That's amazing. And so you've been in there for months, and we talk about a lot of different social media strategies, LinkedIn, YouTube. What's kind of been your experience and why that program has been valuable?
So I will say group coaching is super valuable to me, and the way you all are doing it of you're learning one lesson a month. I think with a lot of things, we all want all the information right now. Like, no, just give it all to me. We can't process it all in that time. We can't implement it. And so it's been really helpful to know, like, okay, I have this session once a month. I will block out the time. I will learn whatever that topic is, and then I will spend the month implementing it. And having the group to kind of bounce questions off of, hear from each other has been really helpful too. But it creates, to me, the monthly part creates accountability, and it creates enough time to take action. Not to mention, like, you have the whole vault of everything that came before. So if for some reason 1 month I went, oh yeah, I've got this thing, I can go look up something else that came before me and learn that thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, really appreciate you, and just love that you're an action taker. Hashtag action taker in Inner Circle. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to thinkinnercircle.com. Cass, if people want to connect with you, where can they find you online, and what are you up to?
Yeah, so 2 best places to follow me are YouTube. It's Cass Thompson Career Advice. And then I'm on LinkedIn. It's my full name, Cassandra Thompson. And I'm on Instagram. If you want to just see the behind the scenes of my life, y'all, I'm not a great Instagrammer, I'll be honest, but I'm at Cass Thompson Consulting. So that's it.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Think Marketing Podcast.
It is so uplifting, Sean, to hear about success stories like Cassandra, who are making a difference online, helping people, but are also able to make this passive income.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing that I love about her story, though, is that great things take time, and I think it's important to remember that YouTube is a marathon and not a sprint. Growing a business is a marathon and not a sprint. And just hearing about her persistence, her tenacity, but also the fact that we can accelerate our success, because like wisdom is the shortcut. I think like there's 2 ways to get wisdom. One is your own mistakes, and that's the slowest way and the most painful, because you just have to experience it yourself. And the fastest way, though, is to learn from other people's mistakes. Podcast is because we've done a lot of things right, but a lot of things wrong. Believe that being connected to this podcast, as well as some of our other programs, can shorten your learning curve by really 75%. I mean, I've been thinking about our journeys together as entrepreneurs and separately in different businesses and endeavors. We've been at this for over a decade, and we've had a lot of failures. We've had a lot of setbacks, and I know that we are totally confident that we could shave 75%. That it's still going to take 2.5, 3 years to launch and build something significant, but it doesn't have to take 10 unless you go at it alone. And so we want to thank you that you don't have to do this alone. And thank you for being a part of this podcast. We have so many future episodes to share with you. And man, the takeaways of that episode were killer. Shows the power of YouTube still today, because she's relatively new on the platform and she's growing right now. In the 2020 climate, in 2021, it's not too late to start. It's not too late to punch fear in the face.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we print everything you need to brand your business? We print banners and signs that help you stand out, and must-have merch like tote bags, t-shirts, and hoodies. Right now, new customers can get 25% off with code NEW25, because if you need it, we print it at Vistaprint.com.
The Quarter Pounder with Cheese has many great things. Maple-flavored griddle cakes isn't one of them. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's not too late to start. It's not too late to punch fear in the face and press record. And Cass is a great example of all that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to learn from Cass and from all of the speakers that we're going to be having at Grow with Video Live this year.
Yeah, I agree. We've got some incredible things planned for our event this year. If you haven't got your tickets yet, Grow with Video Live
story that you connected with and that you're like, I yourself forward.
Yeah, and we also want to thank you for all the incredible support and feedback we've gotten about the Think Marketing podcast. It's been part of our vision for a couple years, but we're still in the early stages of this podcast. And we want to thank you for watching, for liking, for reviewing and supporting it. And we've been lately doing some shout outs for the comment of the week. And so for everybody that's left a comment, thank you so much. But this week's comment is from Vanessa, and it says this: I've been waiting for Sean Cannell and his team to share all their marketing experience in growing multiple 7-figure and 6-figure income streams. I followed just a little bit of their online video tips, and even when I take long breaks from YouTube, I still gain subscribers because of using their methods. I'm super excited about this podcast, and I cannot wait for the next episode. Vanessa, thank you so much for reviewing the podcast. And if you haven't heard, we're actually giving away 2 tickets to Grow a Video Live just for reviewing the podcast. There's a few simple steps to do to be entered to win. So if you go to thinkmarketingshow.com, that's thinkmarketingshow.com, you'll just see a few simple steps to do. And if you review and rate this podcast, not only may you be shouted out on the comment of the week, but you could also be entered to win 2 tickets to the #1 video marketing event for entrepreneurs happening in Las Vegas this year.
Yes, and we just want to say thank you. Thanks for being connected here with us. Thank you for coming along this journey with us as we started this podcast and as we hope to be with you every single week to help you go further and faster. And a way to stay connected with us is to actually subscribe. Hitting the red button on YouTube to subscribe will allow you to see when our newest episodes come out. And if you are listening, you can go to iTunes and you could subscribe there. But that's the best way to stay connected with us. And we hope that each one of these episodes is bringing you value that's going to help your business grow this year and beyond. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next episode. TikTok has basically exploded out of nowhere over the last year to become one of the most downloaded apps in the world. It's a place where videos can go viral in minutes, and new influencers, they're being discovered every single day. I just downloaded the app on my phone, and my kids have been helping me make fun videos. But, as business owners and entrepreneurs, how are we supposed to use this platform to market? If you're going to be spending your time on social media, you want it to be effective and ultimately lead to customers and clients. It's not just an app that kids are hanging out on. It is actually an app that hosts one of the best discoverabilities for your business and brand. Overnight success is just a myth, but with an app like TikTok, exposure to your next client is closer than you think. So in this episode, I sat down with Jane. She's an 18-year-old CEO of multiple brands, and she breaks down what's working right now on TikTok and how you and I, as business owners, can leverage this emerging platform to grow our business and our brand in 2020 and beyond. Welcome to the Think Marketing Show, the #1 podcast for growing and scaling your business with online video. I'm your host, Heather Torres.
And I'm Sean Cannell, and we're from Think Media. And if this is your first time listening, we are fired up you're here.
This show is dedicated to helping you learn how to get your content noticed and the latest money-making strategies that are working right now online. So whether you want to grow your YouTube channel or you're ready to maximize video across all of social media, then this podcast is for you. Well, Well, thanks, Jade, for being on the Think Marketing podcast today. How are you?
I'm doing so good, Heather. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, I think for me, I'm most excited to interview you because you in your business career have so much experience shoved into such a short amount of time. And I'm just really excited to bring you to the Think Marketing podcast community and to grow with Video Live this year. So are you ready to jump into some questions, Jade?
Oh my gosh, jump right in. I'm ready to jump into this pool of... What am I saying? I'm ready to go.
We got it. Okay, so Jade, you are a young entrepreneur. So walk me through, how did you get here? Like, how did you get to where you are right now in business?
Good question, man. When I was 9 years old, that's where my journey started. I did have a lemonade stand. So Gary Vaynerchuk, I am trying to copy your brand and really just take over the world. But long story short, my real start came from making doll videos on YouTube. So before YouTube was like SEO driven and all the fun algorithm stuff, I was a kid making doll videos. You can literally search me. It's like Kitty Films 8 on YouTube. I had like a few videos go like to... At the time, it was a lot of views. It was like 100,000 views, which now, like, videos go for like millions of views, but that was still a lot at my time. And I remember that's when I got started, just making videos for fun. I remember my real, like, business start came after, like, 10 or 11 years old. I started to realize I could sell dolls for money because I was, like, just, wanting to get some coin. And I used my YouTube to market my dolls. So I made films to market my eBay listing of these kind of vintage dolls. So when I was, like, around 12 or 11, I would say I'm just entering 5th grade and I was having my little e-commerce store, my little YouTube channel, and most importantly, I was able to generate, I think, $5,000 a month through my little stores. So it's been a really fun journey. And then I think after that, I did stop. Like I stopped business just to be a kid for a little bit, but then came right back at 16. I'm currently 18 years old and I do similar things. I make YouTube videos. I also have a few businesses about social media, and that's what I've been working on today.
I love it. That's just amazing how, even as a young entrepreneur, you caught vision of what video could do, right? And how marketing on video could really impact a business. And I love that you started selling dolls. I think it's amazing when we start something that we don't really go into for the purpose of making money, right? Isn't it great when you can just start something that you're just passionate about and then you move into understanding, oh, I can monetize this, and really understanding how video works and how you could grab an audience that is interested in what you're selling.
Exactly. Like when you're out of pure passion, you have more patience with it and you don't put expectations because it's art. And that's how you become literally successful. People kill themselves really early just because they have high expectations too early on.
Yeah. And you are running multiple businesses right now. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love your passion for all the businesses that you're doing. And you're using video marketing for those businesses?
100%. 100%.
I love that. So social media, right? We've got Instagram, Twitter, we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, we have Facebook, all these social media platforms. From your perspective, what are some of the shifts that you're seeing in marketing happening right now as it pertains to video and getting customers through social platforms?
Great question. I really think the biggest shift has to be shorter attention spans, which means you can no longer post videos with cool SEO and cool titles and thumbnails. You genuinely need to be a good storyteller. You can see this in two ways. I see this validated in TikTok. People have shorter attention spans. You think 15 seconds. You're not even thinking 10-minute YouTube videos anymore, right? So you can see consumers have shorter attention spans. They want fun, bite-sized pieces of stories. And the second thing I really think is YouTube's algorithm, and I really do believe this is primarily, watch time and making sure people stay as long as possible. Same with Instagram even, but I really think that you can no longer just leverage strategy. You just have to be a good storyteller, and storytelling comes from knowing how to create a problem solution and making it build character development. It's weird because I'm in like the educational business, similar to you guys on the YouTube, but like even in education you need to be a good speaker. You can't just rely on SEO. You literally just can't. So I really do think now entertainment, being funny, being a personality is crucial. Like it's so much, like it's as important as having strategy. And I really do think as that shift happens, you're going to see people, if you don't do that, you're going to suffer. People have shorter attention spans, right? And if you don't keep up with that, they're going to forget.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're seeing that happening here on YouTube. We're seeing that happening even on Instagram, with stories, and even on Facebook with stories. And you're right, being able to tell a story within a short amount of time is critical. That, like, those communication skills are everything, right? I'm so blown away by what you've been able to accomplish by using short form video as it pertains to TikTok. And I want to talk about that. So as there are emerging platforms like TikTok coming on the scene, how do business owners start to use that? I know you're using TikTok right now to grow your business. And so what are you seeing? Give me some of the pieces of TikTok and how you can actually attract customers to your business.
So TikTok is honestly weird. Like, I'm 18, so I'm at the age where I should fully understand it. I still don't fully understand it. And the reason why I say that is just because there's a little bit of misconception. TikTok is actually the worst platform probably right now, at least to convert people. It's the worst. Like, if you look at the platform, do you have TikTok, Heather?
I do have TikTok, yes.
Yes? Okay. Like, you can see there's literally no, on Instagram bio, or like in a YouTube description box, you can add the link to your website or whatever. TikTok has zero capabilities to link, aka drive traffic. Even if you look at their bio page on TikTok, there's no, like, you can put like an Instagram bio link, but that's it. You can't drive people to a site. So do not think TikTok as in conversions. What people really use it for is awareness and multiple touch points. So I really recommend, if a business, I'll give my brand for example. So I run a company called Eat Like. We're a food box where you can eat like your favorite celebrity, and we partner with athletes, influencers to create these food boxes. So we did a video campaign. It was just a little 15-second little like video of the food box and me trying the snacks. It's super short. I added a trendy song, so the song was key to help push it to algorithm. It got, I think, like 50,000 views, and in the comments, people are like, "What is this box? Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? I want to know more." And I linked them to my site. So as you can see, it's more for brand awareness, like, to measure exact conversions. Right now, the platform is not built for that. So you really have to think about awareness, touch points, and just educating people about your product, using music, which I can go more into, but using those trendy songs to really just get your brand out off the ground.
Yeah, I love that. Let's go deeper into that, because that is a big piece of how TikTok works, right? It's like viral music. It doesn't even necessarily have to be music that's on the radio. It's original songs. It's pieces of snippets of songs that people are using to be creative around that. Let's go deeper into that.
Well, like, to be very honest, like, TikTok is just a bunch of people who are like thirst traps, which basically means like people who want attention for very shallow needs. So like, you look at like I don't know how PG is this podcast, Heather.
PG. It's PG.
Okay,
it's family friendly, Jade. We're family friendly around here.
Okay, that's what I asked. We can make it tasteful.
Yes.
If you scroll on TikTok for 5 minutes, you're gonna get the idea. Most of the popular creators are maybe more provocative and a bit more, let's just say, edgy. So you're gonna see that the reason why I brought it up is because TikTok is just solely meme culture. So they make fun of very edgy topics and edgy songs. So really the music, you're right, has nothing to do with popular trends on the radio. It's about like, can I make it funny? Can I make it relevant? Can I make it edgy? So you're going to see, like, I would say, if anyone's taking notes, like the two main formats of like how to pick a good song. I would say the first one is for the sole reason of people.
Imagine a soda that tastes like it was picked from a tree. Culture Pop. If soda grew on trees.
Coming dishes! Doc! Dawn Power Wash flies through 99% of grease and grime in half the time.
It absorbs grease 5 times faster. It even replaces multiple cleaning products.
Ooh, those suds got game.
Dawn Power Wash, the better grease getter.
Dancing is huge. You look at Charlie D'Amelio, who's a natural dancer, but you can look at other creators like Selena Killa. She's a friend of mine. I did an interview with her. She's not a dancer, like, specifically, but she's able to make songs fun. I think there's something that's lighthearted and entertaining. So in reality, if you're trying to find a trendy song, just go on those larger pages and you can literally pick those creators that are dancing to it, and you're more than likely going to pick a song that's like literally not on the radio, but like trending on TikTok, which is sometimes controlling the music industry at this point. The second form of music I've seen is lyrics. So I've seen like people do memes where it's like the song and then there's a lyric. For example, if the song is Baby by Justin Bieber and you're just trying to make a funny reference to like, I don't know, your baby crying, and then you like do a lip sync part of you saying baby to the part. So there's two ways. It's one's lip syncing and one's dancing. That's the only thing you need to know. Like TikTok's pretty like, it's short, it's simple, it's entertaining. And if you pick songs for those two reasons, I'm sure you're going to get more chances to be on the For You page. The For You page is the trending tab on TikTok.
Yes, I love, thank you for that. I like that you described the two different ways because as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we like to complicate this, right? We like to look at these platforms and say, okay, what's the algorithm? How do I beat this? And really, you said two really key things. You said, go on larger pages and see what's already working. I do that on YouTube. We do that on Instagram. The reason you want to do that is because that allows you to see, like, they've already put the work in. They're already the ones doing that full time. So might as well go and see what's trending on their pages. And second, just have fun. I love how you said that this is really just something to do lip syncing, dancing. This is to bring awareness to your brand and your business. It's not necessarily to get a customer and convert right on the platform. It's to do things like build know, like, and trust with your audience.
Totally. Like, if you go on TikTok to do a webinar, I'm so sorry, man. You're in no luck. You're in no luck.
It's not the platform for that. But we have a lot of business owners who are not on the platform yet. So let's talk about how they get started. You're brand new to TikTok. You open an account. You do your username. Give us 3 power tips that people need to use when they're getting started. The first one that you said to me before we started this interview was to be authentic. Let's talk about that.
So I really do think when I say be authentic, it's really just, so it's really weird. I had this one, I would say this personality on TikTok where I try food. So you're going to see like a whole different personality on TikTok. And it's weird because I did it as a joke, but people in the comments were like, Jade, like, this is not you. I was like, what? So I'm like, how did you guys know? So I really do think, as simple as it sounds, like, you do not want to overthink TikTok. And I really do think if your natural passion is, coffee, stick to coffee content, make funny Starbucks references. If your natural inclination is about e-commerce and talking about business, then stay in that lane. Like, if you are not a dancer, do not try to make yourself into a Charli D'Amelio, just because people on TikTok, at least the demographic, a majority of it you're looking at is like, I would say like, starting like teenager, but like it's getting older as well. So they have a little bit more of a inclination to smell out like, BS or things that are not authentic to you. So really just make content that's you, not because it's trendy. I think it goes back to like when I did YouTube for fun when I was like 9 years old, making doll videos, like do it out of passion. And if you don't have a passion, TikTok has like really cool explore page features. So they have like food, like fashion. Have you seen that? It's like,
I have, yeah. You go to it's the Explorer page. That's how I went through it with my daughter, just to see what type of content I should be creating, because I am not a dancer, I am not a singer, but I want to be sharing my personality on the platform. So I went to that page, and that's how I saw the different types of, it's almost like these communities around those different hashtags and trends and things like that.
I think it's so fun because Instagram is primarily, picture. So their Explore page is less, I would say, personable, but it's great. Like, for the first time when my Explore page wasn't bombarded with Charli D'Amelio dancing, it was food content, it was stuff that I was researching upon. So great start with that, find a category you like. You're gonna literally just spend 10 minutes on TikTok, you're gonna understand how it works. It's very you watch a few videos of food, you get it. It's like with the text, the image, the music, it's very simple.
Yeah, and I love that the TikTok algorithm really starts to pick up on what type of content you like to see, because now I'll go on my TikTok and it's like all the same type of content that I like, and every now and then they'll throw in kind of a random one and I just scroll past that one. But it's starting to really understand what my interests are based on the different types of content I'm either posting or the type of content that I'm consuming.
You know what's so unique? I just talked to a friend about this. She's again like one of the top creators on TikTok. We were talking about this and she's saying, like, Jade, TikTok, think about it, is the only platform that actually has immersive full screen videos. They're literally feeding you one video at a time. Name another platform like that is one like full vertical immersive piece of content one at a time. So it's like really weird because like you have literally no choice unless you're on the explore page, which I occasionally do. You're mostly on the For You page, and they're literally spoon feeding you content because their algorithm is that good. So just imagine that engagement and immersiveness of that, because there's no other platform like it. You know, on YouTube you have like a few videos listed. On TikTok you just literally have one at a time.
Yeah, I love that. And so the first tip was be authentic. The second one is to do a lot of testing. Let's talk about that. How many times should you be posting? What type of content should you be posting? Tell me about testing.
Honestly, I really do think, and like I hope like the government's not listening to me when I say this, but I really do think TikTok is categorizing me as like Starbucks hacks girl. Like, or they're labeling, I really do believe like in the algorithm they do that. So they're probably labeling me as a food channel, because when I do other TikToks it's not doing as well. But in the beginning, when I was like just new, I really do think that it's super important to post at least 3 times a day. Like, it sounds a lot because, you know, on YouTube you're like once a week, right? But TikTok 3 times a day. Beyond that, it's a little bit too aggressive, but at the start, you know, you're gonna experiment with maybe the food video, the music, the dancing, and just see which one works. And like literally, what I would do is do that for like a week. Then like a week later, look at the data, see which is the most viral piece of content. You're gonna have like, if you do the math, that's 21 pieces of content in a week, and you can see which one's the number one, and you can start to niche down, like I said. But before that, don't even think about niching down. Just try to diversify and make a ton of content.
Yeah, and I like how you said you didn't make 3 pieces of content and then look at your, you know, numbers. You have to start, like on any platform, you have to be making constant or consistent content to be able to actually see what's working and what's resonating with your audience. And tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, but the audience you have on TikTok may not be the exact audience that you have on YouTube or Instagram, but you are growing within a different audience segment. Is that correct?
Yeah, but like here's the thing. So I definitely have a new identity on TikTok. Like, like people on there, they know me for not Jade the business girl, but Jade the Starbucks girl. But long story short, what's really unique is you have to understand, like, at the end of the day, these are humans. Maybe they know you as like this one place or just a different demographic. But what's super important is like once they know your name, your brand, what your product is, they're going to talk about it to your friends, and then they'll look you up again on other socials. So you have to be inclined that like at the end of the day, once you are like, marketing is all repetitive. So once you're up on the For You page, you're consistent. You know, these are people that can maybe buy your product in the future. Maybe not right now, they're younger. And a lot of people like keep saying like TikTok is like not my niche, but like in like about 5 years, they're about to be your number one demographic with purchasing power. So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's forward thinking in your business, not thinking about what you're doing now, but it's really thinking about what you're doing to plant yourself in the future. I love that. So tip number 1, be authentic on TikTok. Don't be fake, be real. Tip number 2, post a lot, do A/B testing, see what works, and then go deeper in what's working. And then number 3, which to me is like the number 1 of anything in business, which is take care of your fans that are on TikTok. Talk about different ways that you can do that on the platform.
It's pretty simple, like replying to comments. I remember when like the Eat Like box, I did like the video for the TikTok. Like, you know, people were asking where'd you get the box. It would be really bad of me if I just didn't reply. I reply. You know what's super cool too? TikTok literally highlights, and I think it encourages people to reply. If you reply to a comment, I don't know if you noticed, but it says like replied by the creator. Like they literally put badges. And if you understand anything about software development, like you have to think about this. Like TikTok spent millions of dollars just to put that little like button that says you replied to a comment. So you can just see like the platform will love you if you do that. The second thing is I do this. Okay, this is one of my secrets. I'm only gonna give it to Think Media Podcast. Okay, so here it is. You need to like make your audience like a part of the story. So I do this thing where I do part 1, part 2, part 3. And I'm not talking about that like in a YouTube video where you're like, part 1 is like all about this topic, and then part 2 is going to be about another one. Like, no, I'm talking about like you want to leave them on a cliffhanger. So like what I would always do is, especially on my TikToks when I'm like trying new stuff, like I'm quite popular for trying Chipotle out. So instead of being like, you know, I could just try it out on camera, I said, hey guys, like this video for part 2. The audience likes it and they're commenting with me like, oh my god, I'm so excited, you should try this. So like what happens is the narrative is building up with the audience, and that's one of my, it's been working really well because TikTok is, you know, will promote stuff that has more likes and stuff. So you really get to do two things at once, kill two birds with one stone, and you get people part of the narrative, and that's true engagement.
Yeah, and building any type of fan loyalty is always becomes platform agnostic. Like the reason that Viners were able to make it on YouTube is because they built a fan base, right? The reason that YouTubers are able to make it on other platforms is because they're building actual equity with their fans, and turning a fan into a customer takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but you're going deeper and deeper with your audience on TikTok, and that is in turn going to allow for you to grow on other platforms, grow your business, grow your software. When you promote something new, they're all in, right? Because you've given them some personal attention.
Yeah, one thing to add to that, one piece of statistic, you're going to be mind blown when you hear this. I just got this word that apparently 60% of TikTok users, like people who download TikTok, that is their only social media.
Wow.
Which basically means like they don't have like kids that are maybe like, I'm talking like under 13, but like they don't have Instagram. They don't even have YouTube. TikTok is their only media. If you're not there for the new generation, in 5-10 years, your product will be obsolete. So I really do think like that piece of data was like super like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, wow, that's just making me think about what we're doing here at Think Media, what we're doing on the Think Marketing podcast, and how we can reach that next generation with the tools that they're going to need, right? They're the next generation of creators. They're the next generation of entrepreneurs. And while we love serving the audience that we have here on YouTube and on the podcast, really it's about who's going to be your customer in the future. So those are some really awesome tips that you gave us right there, Jade. And this is just the beginning, right? We have Grow with Video Live coming in September. You're going to be there speaking all about YouTube and about Instagram and about TikTok and how you've been able to amass over 10 million views on YouTube and Instagram. That's mind blowing. I'm so excited to hear more about what that process looked like for you. But Jade, where can people find you if they want to connect with you before we go to Growth Video Live?
You guys, there's two things you guys can reach me on. My Instagram, it's jdharmawangsa. I know my last name's long, but hopefully, Heather, you got it in the show notes?
Yes, of course.
And you guys, I've been really obsessed with just like, again, engagement. So you can find me on TikTok, but you guys can also text my phone number. It's 626-317-6863. Hopefully it's in the show notes too, but text me anytime. It's my personal cell where we can chat. I send broadcasts on marketing. And if you want to know more about TikTok, I would also follow me there for sure.
Wow, that was some great TikTok information from Jade.
Yeah, man, I love Jade so much. I mean, really inspiring, everything that she's doing. And I just think, man, at 18, I was not running businesses and like able to communicate and doing all this stuff. I mean, she's super inspiring. But even more than that, I think it's cool to keep a pulse on these trending platforms. You know, of course, TikTok is brand new and kind of vulnerable. Like, we don't know where it's going to go. But even as Jade has said, we've had some people in our Video Ranking Academy that have taken action on TikTok. They've seen some posts blowing up, going viral, but it's led to awareness back to their YouTube channel, which is much more of a solid ground pillar place of content. And so I'm so pumped about what we just learned from Jade, and that she's coming to Growth Video Live 2020 as one of our speakers.
Yeah, I can't wait for Growth Video Live. It's happening in September. And if you want to see some of the current deals and specials we have right now for the Think Marketing community, you can go to growwithvideolive.com.
And also remember, we are action takers here at the Think Marketing podcast. And so take a moment to write down a next step. Maybe it was inspired by this episode directly, or maybe you're just being reminded right now, man, I got to shoot that video. I got to press record. I got to plan those videos out. I need to work on that business development opportunity, whatever it is. What gets scheduled gets done, and plan on paper. So write down your next action step.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, we want to shout out one of the Think Marketing listeners. You left a review on the podcast. And so Hugh, we want to say thank you for your review. And here's what he said. He says, as a filmmaker, I really love listening to the topics on this podcast. I know I'm good at video production, but I've always struggled with the more business-minded side of everything. It's so needed to have that healthy balance of being a creative creator, but also being able to communicate and operate in the business world. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. Well, thanks, Hugh, for leaving that review. And if you would like to leave a review and be spotlighted here on the Think Marketing podcast, you can do that on Apple iTunes, and we would love to read your review next week.
Absolutely. And remember, we're giving away 2 tickets to Grow with Video Live, picking out one of the reviews, why we've been launching the Think Marketing show. It's been fun, done right, and we are just getting started. So if you want to learn how you can win 2 tickets to Grow a Video Live here in Las Vegas, just go to thinkmarketingshow.com.
Yeah, and we are so grateful for you being a part of the Think Marketing community, and we would love for you to see us every single week. You can do that by subscribing on YouTube if you're watching us, or you can subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
iPhone 16e has the best battery life for an iPhone this size, so nothing's stopping you from getting the high score, except the stairs, benches, and rails. iPhone 16e, latest iPhone, greatest price.
Do you want to get more clients and sales in your business this year? Well, if you're listening to this podcast, I hope your answer is yes. And today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest opportunities in video marketing right now. It's one of the best places to be posting consistent content in 2020 to help you grow your business. And this platform that we're talking about today is LinkedIn. Now, I get it. LinkedIn, well, it's no longer just the place to post your platform. It is now a powerful marketing platform where you can grow a brand, you can connect with your customers, and you can grow a powerful community. And in the new era of all of the rising competition and the oversaturated marketing that's happening on the other platforms, LinkedIn is wide open for fast-acting, smart entrepreneurs that are just like you. Did you know that less than 5% of the people who have profiles are actually posting content? This means that after today's episode, you are going to have the winning strategy for getting clients and growing your business today on LinkedIn. Welcome to the Think Marketing Show, the #1 podcast for growing and scaling your business with online video. I'm your host, Heather Torres.
And I'm Sean Cannell, and we're from Think Media. And if this is your first time listening, we are fired up. You're here.
This show is dedicated to helping you learn how to get your content noticed and the latest money-making strategies that are working right now online. So whether you want to grow your YouTube channel or you're ready to maximize video across all of social media, then this podcast is for you.
Hello, and welcome back to the Think Marketing Podcast. I'm fired up for today's episode because we're talking all about LinkedIn and the power of LinkedIn to grow your influence, to reach more people, to reach more customers, to generate leads. And I'm with the expert, Michaela Alexis, who's not only a LinkedIn coach and trainer, she has built massive influence through LinkedIn and coaches other entrepreneurs on how to do that. But she's also one of our speakers at Grow a Video Live this year in Las Vegas. So I am so pumped up to have you on the show. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Came from the snow to the sand, so getting some heat on me, although it's a little bit chilly here today.
That's right. We're meeting up here at a conference, Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. But for those that are just meeting you, how'd you end up in this position where you're helping people with LinkedIn, and what's kind of your background as an entrepreneur?
Gosh, that is a great question. I feel like my story is similar to yours and like so many people, where you kind of just started where you're like trying to figure out something, and then you figured it out, and then you wanted to share what you figured out with other people, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I can actually help other people do this thing. And then the next level is like, I can make a living off of helping other people do this thing. So that's like been the case for me. So I started on LinkedIn back in 2016, writing articles, sharing topics that people weren't talking about in that world, you know, things like fear of failure and rejection and harassment in the business world, like those very taboo business subjects that I knew in my heart that other people were dealing with, but they didn't want to talk about. So I'm like, somebody's got to step up to the plate. It might as well be me, and I'll just see what happens. And eventually people started saying, I don't know what you're doing, but can you teach my business how to do that thing that you're doing? And somehow I landed into this kind of unicorn job where I get to do what I love every day.
So amazing. And your content has helped us over the last couple years. We've been really about a year, have really been getting into LinkedIn and been getting some crazy results. I mean, it's helped us reach new customers.
Yeah.
It's helped us build more community. It's helped us expand our reach. And so as we talk about this, for those listening, especially because we talk about YouTube all the time, people are paying attention to Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook.
Sure.
Why LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn tends to be kind of like the cardigan of social media. It's like, it's useful, it's handy, but it's not super sexy. And so people are kind of like, I have it, but I don't really leverage it. That's what I usually hear from people. And my first thought is, so LinkedIn was acquired by Microsoft a few years ago. And I know as a creator, when it was acquired by Microsoft, the whole culture changed. It went from being essentially kind of like a Rolodex where you had people that you would work with or potentially work with, to all of a sudden like embracing all these creators, people like professionals, people like close to retirement, sharing their expertise on this platform with 600 million people. And I don't think people actually know how big LinkedIn actually is. It's like a quiet giant. Like even last year, the growth was parallel with Instagram.
Wow.
Which is insane. 600 million users. Like if you look at the graph, especially after that acquisition, it's just massive. And you're starting to see that shift in the culture where people are sharing videos, they're sharing articles, they're sharing photos. That's something that didn't exist when I first started. Actually, the first video and photo that I posted, people were like, it's not Facebook, it's not Instagram. There's a lot of resistance to it moving in that direction. And now people have just fully embraced the fact that this is kind of like, it's kind of like the world's largest networking event when you really think about it.
That makes sense. And you kind of got into some of the opportunities on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I think that what's been amazing and where some of our listeners or viewers might be thinking is like, well, yeah, I mean, I set up my resume on LinkedIn, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But what really has been the shift is now it's a content publishing platform.
Yes.
And so there's so many different things. You mentioned articles, of course, photos, written word. Video has been a big thing.
Video is
but
huge.
now there's also like live video. And so for the entrepreneur, the business owner, or the personal brand content creator, what should they be approaching LinkedIn with in terms of content creation?
So video is definitely hot. I mean, it's been around for a few years now on LinkedIn, but it's still kind of at the very beginning. People are just starting to figure out how to use it, how to leverage it. So I think there's still a lot of opportunity. As long as you understand that the culture on LinkedIn is not this like boring, stiff, conservative platform. Because I think a lot of people get on camera and they'll do these very like, hi there, I'm so-and-so, and they'll talk about how great their company is for the next 10 minutes. And that's not what people are looking for. The business world has changed. We don't have 9-to-5s anymore, right? We have technology. So people want to talk about challenges. They want to talk about real issues. They want to talk about their problems. They want to grow. They want to connect. And so all your videos need to kind of be focused on that intention of growing and connecting. So I think that's a great opportunity. LinkedIn Live is super fun. I didn't know if I would actually be into it, but interview style videos are really exciting. I've seen companies really leveraging it well. There's one that I'll be talking about in my talk at Social Media Marketing World, Gong.io. They are the company to watch in terms of LinkedIn pages. And what they do is they give away something every 15 minutes. So they have swag, or they'll give away a book every 15 minutes because LinkedIn, and I don't know what it's like on other platforms for live video, but it just keeps growing the longer that you're on. So I've noticed that the sweet spot is about 45 minutes being live, where you're really going to get that maximum impact.
That's so smart. And then for the viewers, they're giving away a book at 15 minutes into the live stream. 30 minutes, they give away another book.
Exactly.
And you mentioned something, let's clarify. On LinkedIn, you can have a company page or a personal page.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So personal page, it's kind of like Facebook, right? You got your personal profile, which you use to kind of like network with people and let people get to know you. And then you've got your business page, which should be kind of like your service hub. So that should house all of your materials, anything that people might need to make a decision whether or not to work with you. So I am of the mindset that you should have both, even if you're a solopreneur. So I'm a solopreneur. I have both. I have my personal profile, and then I've got my company page, and the content's very different.
I look at LinkedIn again as the world's largest networking event. So I'm constantly sharing, what are those milestones? What are my challenges in my career? So I'll get on video and I'll share some of those. And then once I connect with people, I hope that they go to my profile, see where I work, and then put up their hand to say, yes, I not only like and trust you, but I want to learn more about what you have to offer. So I almost use it like a funnel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love it. And in just a second, I want to hear some stories of maybe some people and what they've actually done on LinkedIn and what results it's led to, and then maybe a tactic or two. But this is just a great reminder that if you haven't got your tickets yet to Grow with Video Live, go to growwithvideolive.com. Michaela Alexis is going to be there as one of our speakers, breaking down the latest strategies on LinkedIn and how you can grow your business, get more customers, earn more money, and make a greater difference with LinkedIn. So definitely go to growwithvideolive.com to register and make sure you get your tickets. But Michaela, what are results from some of the people that you've helped? You've helped them optimize their profile. Just break down maybe like one or two case studies of content to connection to business and how that happens on LinkedIn.
Sure. Well, I can definitely talk about my own. I know about 90% of my business now comes from my company page, which is something that didn't used to happen. I used to basically use my personal profile for everything. And now having that company page, I've been able to kind of filter people through to that end result. So definitely, like with myself, that's been like my...
Is there like a sign-up form? Is it going down in the DMs? I mean, how does it actually, how does business happen?
So I have landing pages, of course, videos with calls to action. That's a big one. One of my favorite ways to convert on LinkedIn is not sexy at all, but it's downloads. Downloads are amazing. So LinkedIn, two things that people love: checklists and templates.
Ooh, power tip.
So think about it, right? Busy professionals. I always try to imagine people on LinkedIn. They're on their coffee break. They've got a coffee cup in one hand. They've got their phone in the other. They're scrolling through. What do they need? What do they need to win? And so I'm constantly putting out checklists. And actually, one of my checklists that I had for like a year, 2 years, when a document feature just came out on LinkedIn, I posted it on there just to see what would happen. 1.5 million downloads.
That is insane on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. So the organic, and that's what's really great, is that LinkedIn for organic traction, you've probably noticed this, is like, it's unparalleled, right? Because we're still in that phase of people trying to learn how to create, that we're not at that point where people are starting to spend money on ads. And actually, I have some insider scoops, especially when it comes to LinkedIn pages, and they actually told me that their focus for the next few years is to help small to medium-sized businesses gain organic traction.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I don't know of any platform that will tell you we want to help businesses gain organic traction. So that's really where their focus is. Their customer has always been like the enterprise, and now they're really shifting their focus to smaller guys, and that's a really great thing. And I don't know how much you know about the LinkedIn algorithm, but it actually right now is favoring newer creators.
Wow.
So
that's good news.
It's called the Robin Hood algorithm, meaning that older creators like myself, they're actually kind of suppressing some of the content and then giving that attention to people that haven't created before and kind of boost them up so that they continue creating.
Yeah. Man, that's so powerful. And of course, LinkedIn too, even when you look at new platforms that have opportunity like a TikTok and a LinkedIn, those would probably be two of the hottest ones.
Yeah.
Then you got to think about the audience.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is the wealthiest social network online. It's where business is done. It's where professionals are. So if you want to grow your business and have an end result, and it's the Robin Hood algorithm, I just learned about that, then what an opportunity to be building your influence on LinkedIn.
In celebration of the launch of this brand new podcast, we're giving away 2 tickets to our annual conference, Grow with Video Live, a $1,500 value.
All you have to do to enter is make sure you subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcast, and then take a screenshot of your review and go to thinkmarketingshow.com for the rest of the details.
Yeah, absolutely. 40% of the world's millionaires are on LinkedIn currently.
That's unreal. These are good stats.
Insane.
So do some checklists, do some of those. Before we go, I want to hear just a couple tactics, like best practices. And I'm even thinking I'll break down a little bit of what we're doing. And of course, if you haven't been on LinkedIn, go back over there, set up your profile, make sure you follow Michaela Alexis. She will help you optimize your profile. And of course, at Grow With Video Live, she'll do the same. I'm Sean Cannell over on LinkedIn. And as we land the plane, give us just, I know you're going to be breaking down so many tactics to grow a video live, but right now on LinkedIn, I'm doing my best. My team is helping me. We're doing some text posts, we're doing some photo, we're doing some videos. But what are best practices and maybe some mistakes I could be making?
So the biggest mistakes that I see, especially for people coming from other platforms, number one, not using native video.
Okay.
That's number one. Think about
just
it, right?
linking to a YouTube video versus
YouTube,
uploading a YouTube
I see
video.
a lot of companies, a lot of people linking to a YouTube or a Vimeo link. Imagine spending millions of dollars on a feature, and then people are going on and they're pulling people off of the platform when they have a feature that's available. So you always want to play to whatever platform that you're on, their algorithm. So you have to think about what they are trying to achieve and work with them, not against them. So that's the number one thing. I see a lot of people trying to, as a call to action, saying, follow me on Twitter or check out my YouTube channel. I want to tell you something about LinkedIn that's very unique. There are so many people on LinkedIn that only use LinkedIn as a social media platform.
So don't.
I have clients that hate Facebook, hate Instagram. They think of LinkedIn as kind of like the anti-social media.
Yeah.
And they like it. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. And you'll notice people that like LinkedIn, they don't like LinkedIn. They love LinkedIn, right? They're all about it. And so as a call to action, saying follow me on Twitter, check out my YouTube channel, those don't work well because of that community.
Keep the party on LinkedIn.
Keep the party on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm a big believer that you should be able to give people as much information as possible so that you can kind of like attract them and close them kind of in that same piece. So I'm all about pre-qualification on the platform, but definitely make sure in terms of a call to action, the LinkedIn algorithm is also looking to make sure that you're tagging people in your posts and that you're inviting conversation. So something that's interesting about LinkedIn is that they're really focused not only on your content, but also as your behavior as a user. So not like Instagram or other features where they don't really care about who you're commenting on, how many times you're commenting. LinkedIn is actually looking at that.
Got it.
They're looking at where you're spending time in the newsfeed, who else's content you're commenting on, how you're responding, and whether or not you're asking questions, inviting conversation, and tagging other users to bring them in.
Well, you've convinced me, and I've been convinced, but every time I talk to you, I get more excited and more pumped about doubling down on LinkedIn. And so make sure, this is in 2020, I think this is one of the big opportunities right now.
Yeah.
We've been paying attention ever since I first heard you at a VidCon LinkedIn Video Creators Summit. That's when we first met.
Yes.
I shot a video that day, and I was like, I'm going to try from now on. And we've been trying, and we've been continuing. Obviously, YouTube takes a lot of our bandwidth, but I have personally, for our team, I have said that we can't ignore LinkedIn. We just can't. It's too much organic reach, like best algorithm on the internet. I love this new creators thing. So think community, double down on LinkedIn. Get your tickets to growavideolive.com so you can learn more from Michaela Alexis and take some action. Go sign up or go follow her on LinkedIn, because what I love is obviously you're an expert, so you can see what you're doing in your activities, see some of your behaviors, see how you've optimized your profile, and I'm sure you have some good downloads and checklists that can help us go further faster as well.
All the downloads and checklists.
So anything for our audience, they can check you out on LinkedIn, but where else can they follow you, or what should they know that?
MickAlexis.com is my website, so you can find all of my downloads, my checklists. I have writing prompts. One thing that I created recently was 100 different ways to repurpose your content on LinkedIn, because I'm all about using what you've already got rather than constantly creating. It was a stretch to create 100, I will say, but I think it's super fun. So that's available on the website, and my company page on LinkedIn is where I house all of my, not only my training content, but also the new features that are coming out on LinkedIn. LinkedIn just announced yesterday that they're bringing out stories. So make sure that you're following that so that you get those quick tips and all of the new features.
Okay, that was so good, Sean. It's making me rethink, why am I not on LinkedIn yet? I know that you are on LinkedIn, our company is on LinkedIn, but Heather Torres is not on LinkedIn. Michaela's interview you just did with her really is pushing me over the edge. I need to get there.
Yeah, and I even still, because you get your main platform, and I know everybody can relate, because you're like, wait a minute, we're learning about TikTok and LinkedIn and these different platforms, even on the Think Marketing podcast. It's hard enough to keep up with just a YouTube channel, but when there is opportunity like that, you got to take action. And I don't even think think like what I'm personally doing, and obviously you have to consider, I've got the benefit and the help of having amazing team members like Heather Torres and Melissa Caputo and, Omar helping. So we're able to do a scale that is different than someone who's just starting. So you got to be realistic about the season you're in, but
the hardworking weed killer that's safe for use around people and pets, and backed by Good Housekeeping.
One might say we're synonymous with shopping for homes.
Yes, one might say.
you don't want to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. You got to seize it during the lifetime of the opportunity. And that's what's happening on LinkedIn right now. Amazing organic reach, amazing opportunity to connect directly with your target audience and drive sales, reach customers, reach clients. And a lot of people, even in our community, are sometimes even posting their videos in both places. They're shooting a YouTube video that's less than 10 minutes, and they're sometimes just editing around the outro or the intro a little bit and just making it for LinkedIn, and they're uploading it there as well. There's different tactics you can do to take advantage of the fact that LinkedIn is just hot right now, and you can grow a ton of influence, build your business faster. And the cool thing is that Michaela is one of our speakers at Grow a Video Live this year. What I love about our conference is that a lot of the speakers, unless they have to rush in and out for some reason, are there to also connect with. They answer a lot of questions, they connect with the people that come. And so that way you can actually get nuances, get your questions answered, and learn more about how to build your business with LinkedIn. LinkedIn's kind of the golden era that was once the beginning of YouTube or the beginnings of Facebook. Those are still great, but they're more kind of saturated. LinkedIn isn't. And I heard this, I think another interview I did with a different LinkedIn expert was talking about how out of the almost 250,000 monthly active users on LinkedIn, only 5% are actively actually creating content. Most people love it, they're engaged, they're commenting, they love the platform, but they're not creating, they're just kind of consuming, reading, and connecting. Therefore, the opportunity as a content creator, a business owner, an entrepreneur, someone that wants to drive sales and get clients and customers, I mean, you can see I'm fired up. But anyways, pumped she's coming to Grow a Video Live.
Yeah, I am excited to learn from her. Again, like I said, I really want to go all in on LinkedIn this year. And so Michaela is someone that I'm really, looking up to as a mentor in this category. And along with Michaela, we have a full lineup of amazing speakers that are going to be teaching you the best strategies that are happening on all of the platforms, and you can get all the details, see the best pricing and packages we have right now for you if you go to growwithvideolive.com to get your ticket.
Yes, and we also have to remind you every week that now is time to take action. Hashtag action takers here at the Think Marketing Show. And look, I'm kind of stealing a page out of Heather's playbook here. She is the productivity queen. She is the time management master. I have no idea how she operates Think Media while parenting 3 kids, while her and her husband Isaiah are homeschooling, while doing things with church and friends and balancing life and business and hobbies and health and all of the things. But one of the secrets I've learned from her is calendar blocking, that you have to block time on your calendar to get these specific things done. So not only do we want you to write down your next step or what are you going to do as a takeaway from this episode, but take some time right now, pull your car over, do it tonight, do it soon, to sit down and actually put on your calendar over the next 7 days, when are you going to shoot those next YouTube videos? When are you going to reply to comments? And then when are you going to potentially take 30 to 60 minutes to set up your LinkedIn profile, to consume a little bit more of Michaela's content, and actually to just take some action? Sometimes because we haven't planned on paper or digitally on Google Calendar, because we haven't done that, we get overwhelmed. But once you start plugging in priorities on your calendar, look, you can get this stuff done. And here's the deal. When you take action, that's where the results are.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, we want to shout out one of our Think Marketing Podcast community members. We read the reviews. Isn't it awesome, the reviews that we're seeing online? And we're going to go ahead and shout out Wild Florida, who left this amazing review on the podcast.
Yes, here's the review. I'm so excited to hear Sean and Heather have started this podcast. I've been watching Sean on his Think Media video influencers and now Think Marketing YouTube channels since I decided to start a YouTube YouTube channel. The videos have helped me walk through each step from picking a name, defining the niche of the channel, getting my first subscriber, and so much more. He and Heather use data with storytelling to guide you and keep you inspired as you navigate unknown territory. Now I can listen to them as I commute and keep the fuel on the fire as I work through the grind of getting my YouTube channel from 0 to 1,000.
Awesome. And while Florida, we encourage you to stay connected here because we want to help you get to that 1,000. And if you've not already left a review, you can do that on Apple Podcasts. And again, we are offering 2 free tickets, our giveaway to Grow with Video Live. If you go to thinkmarketingshow.com, you'll get all the details, simple steps to enter that giveaway by leaving a review.
Yes. So thanks again for listening to this episode. Remember that sometimes in trying times in life, when there's setbacks, when there's obstacles, when it even feels like the whole world is upside down, in every obstacle is hidden opportunity. So stay positive, stay connected to positive people, positive communities, and keep building, focused on your dreams, goals, and vision for your life and future. We got your back, we're in your corner, and we're so pumped that you're connected here at the Think Marketing Podcast.
iPhone 16e has a durable design and ceramic shield because the average person drops their phone 208 times a year. Make that 209 once they see the price. iPhone 16e, latest iPhone, greatest price.
And premium content creation software. And during this challenge, you're getting access to the exact training that we offer in our $4,000 coaching program, but you're getting it completely for free. And you can start with just your smartphone. So if you're ready to turn 2025 into your YouTube breakthrough year, go to tube1kchallenge.com to register. That's tube1kchallenge.com, or click the link in the show notes or YouTube description to register for our upcoming challenge. So let's talk about the 5 life-changing benefits of starting a YouTube channel. Number 1, transform from a consumer to a creator. Take the bold leap from passive consumption to active creation and unlock a world of greater fulfillment, personal growth, and meaning. Are you tired of just passively scrolling, watching other people post videos on YouTube? Are you feeling stuck on the sidelines? You know, the truth is social media algorithms are architected to keep you in a scrolling loop, just consuming. And listen, consuming is great. I love YouTube. I watch it all the time to learn, to get better, to be entertained, to get educated. But something radically shifts in your life when you shift from not just being a consumer, but becoming a creator. Even if nobody watches your videos, it's an identity shift. It actually shifts your mindset. It shifts the neural pathways. It taps into another level of really personal power and transformation. So let's consider the downside of only being a consumer of YouTube and social media. One study in the Journal of Clinical Psychological Science found that increased social media use was correlated with increased depression and loneliness. The truth is, if you consume only, it isn't necessarily the best thing for your mental health. But now watch the power of creating content on YouTube. Just pressing record, starting to make videos, challenging yourself, getting out of your comfort zone. It leads to improved mental health. One study found that 45 minutes of creative activity significantly lowered cortisol levels, a key stress hormone. A 2024 study in the News Medical found that people who engaged in arts and crafts reported higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. So if you go into creating content on YouTube with the intent to just express yourself, challenge yourself, be artistic, learn some new skills, compile a video, put some things together, it can lead to higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction, especially if you don't tie your worth to views, but you see it as an opportunity to not just be a consumer, but to be a creator. But it goes deeper. Enhanced cognitive function. Creating content is actually a workout for your brain. Engaging in creative activities can improve cognitive skills like problem solving, memory, and attention. And research suggests that creativity can stimulate neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt, leading to improved cognitive function. And so you can't score a goal if you're just sitting on the bench. And there's something about getting off the bench, starting to create content, and not just moving from being a consumer only, but being a creator. But what if this year you created more than you consumed? What a radical shift. You're like completely going the opposite of the majority and of what most people in the world do. Again, I love consuming content and I love YouTube, but I want to challenge you, even if nobody watches your videos, especially at first, it's life-changing to step into the identity of being a creator. Number 2, building your digital legacy. Documenting your memories and stories on YouTube allows you to create a time capsule that shares life lessons with future generations. So imagine if you could go back and watch a video of your grandparents or your great-great-grandparents sharing their stories, sharing their wisdom, maybe great-grandpa and great-grandma interacting, talking about their marriage, talking about the challenges and the things they survived, the trauma they went through, the things they overcame. What could you learn? How valuable would that be to you? How much would you pay to get access to that footage or those videos if they existed? One of the reasons to start a YouTube channel, I believe, is to document your digital legacy. To think about this could turn into a lot of cool things. And we'll talk about that more in a future episode. But what if I'm able to just look back at how I've grown, how I've changed? Kind of like a video journal, a catalog of my thought leadership professionally, vlog-wise, the different types of content I'm putting out there. Where this one really hit me hard was ever since I became a father, now of a 4-year-old and 2-year-old boy, I really started to think about legacy. And I started to think about, God forbid, if I was to pass away this year, if I was to, tragically, it's not my desire, kind of morbid, but possible. There's a level of peace that I have when I think about the opportunity I have to continue fathering my kids. Of course, nothing substitute being present, but how many videos could they watch about my values, my vision, who I am, what I've shared, what I stand for, and what could they glean from that material? Well, if I never pressed record and started posting content, I wouldn't have that digital legacy for the now generation, for the next generation. And so there's something about just putting yourself out there, starting to create content, preserving memories and stories. It allows you to capture not just photos, but your voice, your personality. And sometimes I think, you have a bunch of videos on your phone. What are you going to do with those? You're going to, are you going to go look back? How you say, I hope you're keeping your digital life organized. I know that I'm not. And maybe you're doing a good job at that, but something about putting it on YouTube, it's easy to search and find. I look back at old videos I posted and I'm like, this is cool. They're easily shareable. It's creating a time capsule, right? You're capturing your experiences and your perspectives. There's even a creative idea that Mr. Beast did early on where he would also upload a video and schedule upload it. So you start a YouTube channel. Do you know you could schedule upload a video right now for 3 years from now and talk to yourself? Like, hey, this is Sean from the past. I just want to say, here's where I'm at. This is what I was going through. This is what I was thinking. And then he staggered those. It's kind of a cool story that you could start a YouTube channel and document a moment in time to give yourself perspective in the future. And you could share life lessons, offer guidance. It's just a cool way to build your digital legacy. Number 3, accelerate your personal growth. Deciding to post content on YouTube is like taking the fast track to learning new skills, building your confidence, and becoming the best version of yourself. So Warren Buffett, considered one of the greatest investors of all time, said this: the one easy way to become worth 50% more than you are now, at least. So what are you worth now? How much do you get paid at your job? How much are you earning at your last job? How much do you think you could earn per hour, or what would your salary be? This is what Warren Buffett said. The one easy way to become worth 50% more than you are now, at least, is to hone your communication skills, both written and verbal. I promise you this. If you start a YouTube channel and you commit to posting content, and you commit to writing the best titles you can and learning the best practices about YouTube, learning how the internet works, search engine optimization, you're going to be learning writing scripts, you're going to be learning written and verbal communication skills just because of putting yourself out there on YouTube, just the challenge of doing it. Even if you feel awkward, you don't like how you sound, and you're self-critical, every video you upload is an opportunity to get better at critical skills. Warren Buffett also said, if you can't communicate and talk to other people and get your ideas across, you're giving up your potential. And there's a lot of people who could get a lot better at this. Your ability to express yourself in relationships, your ability to communicate in meetings as stakes grow higher, if you get elevated and go to the next level in your career. The ability to communicate your ideas, structure how you communicate. Creating YouTube content forces you to learn that stuff. It pushes you to articulate your thoughts and your ideas effectively, both in writing and in camera. And even if, like, you start like we all do with your first videos or your worst videos, and you're not good at the start, like, it's just about getting 1% better. And where could you be if you started YouTube today? If you started posting content this year, where could you be in a couple years in regards to critical skills? Where could you be in the future in regards to your abilities? You know, I started video for my local church, and this was an hour north of Seattle in a town called Marysville, Washington. And I started volunteering at a youth ministry that had like under 10 kids in it. And the youth pastor actually handed me a video camera and Adobe Premiere, and that's when I started video, even before YouTube started. In 2007, I started a YouTube channel for the church and started to upload some of the videos and recaps of mission trips and stuff on YouTube. And I could share from my own experience that I was transformed as a result. It just forced me to learn so many diverse skills by being immersed in creating video and structuring it and editing it and posting it. And I learned a lot as a result. Well, what happened was a few years later, I ended up having an opportunity to move to Las Vegas to get a better salary. In fact, I was paid like quarter time and waiting tables while I was working at that church, barely working as far as paid. I needed multiple streams of income to survive. Eventually, I got a proper job with a proper salary in healthcare and got basically promoted to a very influential church with a TV show that was doing all kinds of stuff on social media with a pretty well-known pastor, all this different stuff. All because I started a YouTube channel, honestly, all because I started doing video. And it forced me to skill up. And my preparation for that next season of my life was because of accelerating my personal growth by committing to learn new skills. And I wrote down 10 skills you develop by doing YouTube. Remember, if you start a YouTube channel and even if you don't get views, these are all things that will make you more valuable. Warren Buffett says at least 50% more valuable than you are now if you learn these things. So here you are, 10 skills you develop by committing to YouTube. Number one, video production, framing, composition, lighting, sound, camera operation, basic editing, storytelling, narrative structures, pacing, engagement, visual storytelling, script writing, communication, how to speak clearly, vocal delivery, tone and pacing, body language, expressions. Number four, teaching, instruction. If applicable, if you have an educational channel where you're sharing some information, how do you explain concepts clearly? What about visual demonstrations? What about creating engaging tutorials, simplifying complex information? Number five, writing, script writing, video descriptions, social media posts to promote your content. Number six, technical skills, video editing software, YouTube channel optimization, all the back end of YouTube, graphics and thumbnail creation, live streaming software. Number seven, marketing and promotion, social media marketing, SEO, community building, content strategy. Number eight, organization and time management, planning and scheduling, meeting deadlines, managing multiple tasks, staying consistent. Number nine, self-discipline and resilience, overcoming procrastination, dealing with criticism, bouncing back from setbacks. Number 10, personal growth, increase confidence, improve communication, enhance creativity, and greater self-awareness. Now, I might have just talked you out of starting a YouTube channel. You might be like, that list That seems like a lot. And I was already overwhelmed. Now I'm super overwhelmed. Let me encourage you, commit to the journey, commit to growth, commit to just learning and take the pressure off. Like, why not start a YouTube channel, even if nobody watches, to just learn, grow, express yourself, learn new things, one thing at a time. Because again, especially if you want more of this kind of information, you can subscribe to our Think Media channel and podcast channel. And we'll help you on the journey, and we'll help you monetize, and we'll help you do all that kind of stuff. But like, what are the other paths your life might take? What if you end up not doing YouTube even a few years later? What you learned is not lost. What if you start a YouTube channel and nobody really watches, but you get some views and you have some breakout videos and you grow a little bit? Here's the greater opportunity. You grow, you change, you become someone who learns new things, challenges yourself. And as a result, who knows what kind of future opportunities will come on the other side of you learning valuable skills. Number 4, build valuable relationships. Committing to creating content on YouTube helps you turn viewers into friends, friends into collaborators, and it helps you unlock opportunities through unexpected connections. So YouTube is kind of like your virtual campfire, and we're in the Wild West. Everyone's separated, wandering through the very valleys of Red Dead Redemption 2. And you decide to start a YouTube channel and to start posting videos. It's like scraping 2 sticks together and starting a fire. And the fire is small at the start, but you're sitting down and you're saying, this is where I'm at. There's my thoughts, my ideas, my creativity. This is the YouTube channel topic. I want to talk about this passion. I want to talk about this thing. And every time you post a video, you're like putting another log on the fire. And the fire gets a little bit bigger and the fire gets a little bit bigger. Now, maybe you don't go viral, but another wandering traveler looks over and sees, man, it's kind of cold out. It's getting dark. That person's got a fire going. Let me go sit down and check out what they're doing, right? And so now you made a friend. You start to talk around the fire. Oh, you're into Settlers of Catan too? Oh, you're into the Wu-Tang Clan? Oh, you're a Bible nerd? Oh, and you start gathering people around your campfire. What's so cool about YouTube is it's a chance to connect with like-minded people. It'll help you find your tribe, if you will, even if they're scattered around the globe. You can build a community with those who have shared interests, like-minded people. It helps people get to know who you are too, and they might be like, man, I watched a couple of your videos and I highly dislike you. Which, by the way, you're like, well, that sucks. I want to be liked by everybody. Well, that's just not life or reality. But what's cool is it's like people can kind of self-filter. They could be like, your channel's not for me. Your vibe is not for me. I don't like your style. I don't really connect with you. Cool. But it gives you the opportunity for someone who's like, I've seen some of your stuff. I like your stuff. Man, I like how you think. I'm into the same kind of thing. Oh, you collect Funko Pops and you're into, comic and pop culture. Let's connect. Like, I love your stuff. And then maybe follow on social media. Again, you might not grow a massive following, but you can make some real friendships. I have. It's been wild how many in-person friendships and significant relationships in my life have happened just because I punched fear in the face and pressed record and started a YouTube channel. It's led to a lot of business opportunities, but it's also led to these tangible, real-life relationships to connect with people who get you, right? Because when you put yourself out there, your vibe, you just being yourself, express yourself authentically, you start to find your people. And friends can also then turn into collaborators. Like, there's something about you planting a seed today for the harvest that you want to reap in 5 to 10 years. Meaning you starting a YouTube channel today might lead to a friendship that becomes a collaborator, that becomes a business partner, that becomes a podcast co-host, that becomes somebody. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in 4 or 5 years, but if you do nothing, nothing will happen. But if you do something could happen. You start a channel. You don't know. You're just like, man, maybe I'll just connect with I'm just going to start a campfire. And that's how Rome was built. Before Rome had all the roads and all the cities and all the areas of town and all the different, that's how every city was built by a campfire at first. A couple people were like, hey, right now I'm filming near Seattle. At one point, there was no Seattle, but some settlers came in, some people arrived. What do? Built a campfire. Built a few huts around that, built a few more, started to gather and build a town, and then a city, and then a mega city, and so who knows what it's going to turn into, But it all starts with just posting your first video and then posting one video at a time to start connecting with other people. Number 5, make a meaningful impact, even if it's only on one person. Starting a YouTube channel gives you the power to make a difference in someone's life, even if it's only one person who watches your videos. So what if you could change one person's life? What if you posting a video gave someone the courage to not give up and to fight another day? What if you sharing your story could give somebody the courage to leave a toxic relationship or make a meaningful move in their life that changes their future forever? Sounds kind of deep, but that's literally the power that we have with this incredible platform called YouTube. And why everybody's chasing viral, I think we sometimes underestimate the opportunity to make a difference in just one person's life. Like if you starting YouTube, by the way, with all the benefits we've already covered, but then as a result, some of your videos started to reach a few people. And videos reach people at different levels. Like some people click on it, they don't finish watching, and some people might be like, that was, gave me some things to think about. But you never know how your story, your experience, the hardships you've been through, the difficulties you've been through, the problems you've solved, the things you've overcame, the God-given gifts you have for being funny or sarcastic or bringing some comedic relief in a world where people need encouragement and to be able to relax a little bit every day, which is how much craziness there is in the world. So whether it's education or entertainment, YouTube gives you the opportunity to impact someone's life. And would it be worth it to you to just change one life? What if you could change 10 lives? Like, who could be waiting for you to show up and take your dreams seriously and to start posting videos? And would it be worth it, even if you didn't go viral or you never got monetized, but you were able to start a ripple effect of courage or change in the world? This ripple effect of courage is real. Brene Brown has done a lot of research on vulnerability, and she says that vulnerability is the birthplace of courage, connection, and creativity. It just shows how we need each other in this world. Like, there needs to be a ripple effect where, like, what you do and what I do and what we all do, it influences each other. There's an effect. And so if we want connection and we want more courage and we want more creativity, you have a contribution to make to that. Sometimes you can fall into the myth that your life is meaningless or that you don't have a purpose or a chance to make a difference. I think some people might overhype, like we're all going to be viral stars on the internet. But I think people underestimate the chance of starting a ripple effect of courage. You never know what posting a YouTube video could do, because courage is contagious. And sometimes you might be the inspiration for somebody else. It's like, man, if they could do it and they could step out there, like what would happen? Like, it only takes one person in a family to make a bold move and to start living different than maybe previous generations did, and to change things for your kids, for your spouse, for future generations. Like when one person steps up and makes a bold move to say, I'm going to be courageous, I'm going to bring some change, I'm going to fight that negative pattern or that toxic pattern. Maybe it's your family's always struggled financially and there wasn't really any entrepreneurs or business builders or people that stepped out in your family. Why can't you be the first? It all starts with just starting a YouTube channel, putting the first log on the fire, and that courageousness. Maybe you don't build an empire, but maybe your son does. Maybe their son does, because granddad took a step of courage. So number 5 is make a meaningful impact. And I think one of the most powerful concepts of this is the power of one. People underestimate the power of one. Like, you're one subscriber away from meeting that strategic connection that's a friendship or a collaborator for the future. Business owner, like, you're one lead away, one prospect away, one client away, which could be your key client for revenue in a year, but also the key client that introduces you to 10 or 100 other clients, the one lead domino relationship. You're one video away from the video actually breaking out. Maybe you post 33 videos, but video 34 is the power of one. You've been being consistent, growing your skills, but all of a sudden one video breaks out. This is happening all the time on the internet, right? The power of one viral video. The power of one is a real thing. And so I think when we stop chasing viral, the big idea of this episode is the internal change that happens when we start a YouTube channel. But one video might be something you kind of process and you write down and you script it out, you post it on YouTube, but it turns into a book idea for the future because you didn't know how it was going to resonate. And it was like, I didn't think it was that big a deal. But then that was the one video people started commenting on. And it was then the one video that led to a future business you start, a future book you write. And so I have one more thought on that in just a second, but I do want to give you a heads up that if you actually are on the fence and wanting to start a YouTube channel and would like some help, we have an upcoming YouTube challenge. It's at tube1kchallenge.com, or I'll link to it in the show notes. It's a 5-day event. Every day we learn something, and every day you'll be challenged to do something. And it's all about getting your first or next 1,000 subscribers. So how do you start? How do you get your mind right? What are the practical things? What are some of the new strategies for getting views? This is something we only do a couple times a year. And so if you'd like some help for free, plus we also give away gear and software. It's a pretty cool event that the entire Think Media team rallies around. It's online, it's free. And so check out the show notes or go to tube1kchallenge.com. But let me leave you with this. We've covered a lot of the benefits of starting a YouTube channel, even if you never go viral. But I just want to encourage you to take the next one step and to take one step at a time. You're one video away, but sometimes even a video could seem overwhelming, right? It could just be to register for the YouTube challenge. That's one step, but then to actually show up. It could be just taking one step to every day learn a little bit more about YouTube as you're watching videos on this platform, getting education. It could be making one phone call, right? It could be doing one task, like deciding to name your channel, set up the cover art, set up the branding. It's something powerful about doing even one thing every day as it pertains to your YouTube channel. Everybody's looking for giant leaps. I want to start my channel, go viral, get it monetized, have 10 brand deals. Like we get way ahead of ourselves and we maybe overestimate how much we can accomplish even in 1 year, but we underestimate how much we can accomplish in 5 to 10 years. So if you just do one thing every day, learn something every day, take an action every day, study something, tweak your channel, work on your branding, study your niche, break down all the pieces. I mentioned the 10 skills. You're not going to work on 10 skills every single day, but you can work on one, and you're one video away. You're one lesson away. You're one video idea away, but just keep committing to taking one step at a time, and definitely hang out with us here on the Think Media podcast if you want more help on the journey. Until next time, my name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel, and I can't wait to connect with you in a future episode.
Tax Act has live experts on hand, so you don't have to sweat your taxes. We're like the antiperspirant of tax companies. That sounded a lot cooler in my head. Tax Act. Let's get them over with.
Money with a small YouTube channel.
Yes, you can. I saw a big old display of Christmas laser lights, and I made a video called Best Christmas Laser Lights and earned over $4,000 from. And brands want to work with nano and micro influencers, smaller channels, YouTube Shorts. They're also connected to YouTube Shopping, which is another form of monetization. My favorite way to make money, if you're not monetized yet on your channel, or even if you are, is...
In a recent poll, 68% of our Think Media viewers said that they have not started making money with their YouTube channel yet. And then in a separate poll, 28% of that audience said that their biggest issue on YouTube is not knowing how to make money. So the good news is if anyone is watching that and they're part of that group, this episode is for them. I am here with the founder and CEO of Think Media, Sean Cannell. Sean, you have been on YouTube for over 14 years. Across your channels, you have amassed over 4 million subscribers. And then on the back end of those channels, you also have an 8-figure business. But I do understand that it's not always been like that. And it's really just been the case over the last few years that things have really taken off for you and your company. And your journey has been a lot of trial and error in a combination of a few different tactics. And you've got some crazy stories that I'm super excited to get to today. And truly, there is no one else I'd rather be here with today to chat about the best ways and strategies to make money on YouTube with a small YouTube channel. So Sean, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Very excited to get into it.
Logan Lauren, pumped to be with you, Community Care Director of Think Media, and here we are.
Here we are. I have one question that I kind of wanted to get out of the way first and foremost. Can you make money with a small YouTube channel? Even if you are not monetized, can you bring in an income?
Yes, you can. And you sometimes have to think outside of the box, because when people think about YouTube, they think you got to get 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. And that can kind of be discouraging because you think, man, it's going to take so long. And YouTube oftentimes can be slow at the start. But absolutely, there are ways that we can discuss that you can start making money even before YouTube starts paying you through what's called the YouTube Partner Program.
Amazing. That's good news. We're in luck. We're in luck. One thing it does remind me of is in your YouTube Secrets Playbook, you talk about your Christmas light story. And I would absolutely love if you could share that. I feel like it's really applicable to this topic.
Yeah, so I think my favorite way to make money, if you're not monetized yet on your channel, or even if you are, maybe you're listening to this, you're further along, is called affiliate marketing. And that's basically where you talk about a product that you use or have in your garage or even somebody else's garage, just something around your house. You talk about it and then you link to it and you get a commission if somebody purchases that product online. So the Christmas light story was interesting. I discovered YouTube and the fact that I could talk about different products, link to them, make money. So I started, as I was living my life, just noticing things. And one of the things that I noticed one year was at a local Smith's grocery store in Las Vegas, where my wife and I were living at the time. I saw a big old display of Christmas laser lights. Now, have you seen those before? There's the classic lights that have bulbs, and then there's it's the tiny thing you put in your yard and it just shines these lights on the house, and sometimes it has animations and stuff. Have you seen those?
Is it the one with the music? You drive by and you can set up a whole thing.
They can react to music and they dance all over the house.
Okay.
What's your opinion of them?
I love them. I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
We live in a small town, so we have 3 houses, I feel like, that have Christmas lights, and they're all the animated ones.
Okay.
And you roll up, you tune it to the AM radio, and you get a whole show.
My wife hates them.
Oh, no.
She would prefer the She would prefer National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Chevy Chase, the proper white and red bulbs that you have to staple on the house and on the roof and hang on the gutters. Takes you 3 days to set all your lights up. And when you look at those laser lights, she thinks they're the lazy lights, because all you do is take one thing out, you just put it in the yard and just shine it on the house, you're done. Play a music, and now there's a snowman. It's kind of weird looking. But that's besides the point. I went to Smith's and I saw a big display of wow, I've seen these on a couple houses. Now, let's take you back. This is 2016. I saw these on a couple houses and I thought, if these are in a grocery store, they're probably getting more popular and they're probably being sold more. I want to actually say originally it was a TV infomercial called the Star Projector or something. There was a really early version of these lights. And so I'm man, okay, this is now more mainstream. So knowing what I know about YouTube now, and this is where listeners could do this for themselves, you spot maybe an opportunity for a product you could talk about, a product that would relate to your YouTube channel. And then what I did was I went home and I started doing some keyword research and started looking around on the internet, are these being sold on Amazon? Is anybody searching for these? And what keyword research is best Christmas laser lights. And I'd be oh, wow. You can find that 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people a month or something are searching for that particular product. And when you use tools like that, those numbers, it's not that it has to be exact, that you could still get 100,000 views on that video. But what you're doing when you're searching is verifying, oh, there's people looking for this. People are shopping online for this particular thing. So from just kind of verifying that there was interest and sort of spotting that this was going to be a trend, I thought, what if I made a video? I did my own research, ordered some of these Christmas laser lights off Amazon for $25 and then another one for $35. And if I made a video after reviewing these, and I made a video called Best Christmas Laser Lights, and I talked about 3 different models, and I put that video out. And as a result, I caught a trend that first year because I was still pretty early to these lights coming to online shopping. And I want to say that video got a little over 100,000 views and earned over $4,000 that year from Amazon.com because I talked about the lights. I put links to the lights in the description, and those are my affiliate links. So by signing up to what's called the Amazon Associates program, I then can have my custom links. And so when somebody watches my video, clicks the links, purchases a product, then I make income. And it actually is kind of crazy what happened since then. But that's an interesting story about how randomly talking about lawn and garden accessories for the holidays can actually be something that people make money on. And anybody listening to this can start thinking about what do you use in your life, your hobbies, what do you have in your garage, what is your passion, what are the things you already spend money on, what are the last 100 purchases on Amazon? Is there something you could talk about? Those all could be turned into a YouTube video that makes you money on YouTube without.
I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies were doing to it. So I made my own. Chasing Philly helps my business grow, one hoodie at a time.
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours.
Hey y'all, I heard Mayel's Kalahari Melon and Aloe Vera line is changing the game. Up to 5 days of moisture and no wash days in between. Let's see about that. Can you believe this is day 5? Imagine what you could do with up to 5 days of moisture.
Being monetized yet.
That's amazing. And if 2016, that was about 8 to 9 years ago. I'm curious what your YouTube channel looked like at that time. Was that like your first major breakthrough with affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so by that time I was kind of midway on my journey. I started that channel. It was just my personal name. I think originally it was called Sean Thinks. My name is Sean Cannell, and I called it Sean Thinks because I had started Think Media, even though I wasn't really posting there as much. And the channel was kind of what you would call a lifestyle channel, meaning I just sort of talked about the things in my life and a lot of different products that I may use. So that's where I learned this, was originally making side income from sort of just, I've learned lessons since then. I didn't really have the best niche. Like, it might sound random to talk about laser Christmas lights, and the truth is it was. But I was also creating strategic videos that were essentially getting in front of trends. And so I started that channel around 2010. And so this is 6 years after that. The channel was not huge yet, but my first breakthrough in affiliate marketing, and that's really glad you asked this question, because I talk about earning $4,000. That was 6 years after I started the channel. I remember my first ever affiliate payment from Amazon.com was $2.12. That is, I think, a much more realistic number to imagine. And early on, I would talk about, I made a video called Gift Ideas for Him. And same idea. And we're talking about the holidays. You can do this any time of the year that you want, but around the holidays, people were searching for Christmas laser lights. And around the holidays, a couple years earlier, people were searching. I'm like, they're probably searching for the term and the phrase, gift ideas for him. And then what I did was I was like, all right, what if I made a list? And I went around my house and just was like, oh, this was a cool book that my wife got me about, being a gentleman. Here's our GPS from our Honda Civic back when everyone had a Garmin. It's like, you could get him this. And it was actually just stuff I had, and I talked about it and held it up in the video. Here's just some ideas. And if you want to actually purchase any of these products, just links in the description. And it started slow, so slow that I made $2.12. But I was, kind of wanted to click my heels like a leprechaun in excitement, because I was like, whoa, this actually works. I just made $2 on the internet. What if I could turn that into $200 a month? What if I could turn that into $2,000 a month? And as you know, that's one thing we're so passionate about helping our whole community with, because that's practical. And this is also not it's not get rich quick stuff. This isn't become a millionaire on YouTube overnight. $2.12 or even $2,000 a month, that's not millionaire money, but that's life-changing. $2,000 extra for your family, $2,000 extra going into investment, and then scaling it up depending on how much time you want to spend doing this.
I think that's such a great expectation as well, because had you not started with the $2 in affiliate, I'm sure you probably wouldn't have gotten to the Christmas lights video and making over $4,000. So the excitement from the $2, I want to know what it was like seeing that affiliate income from the Christmas lights video, especially that's a big jump from $20, $50 to thousands of dollars. What was that like for you once you saw that?
Yeah, I think that because I think about it kind of like baseball, where you might have base hits and you might bunt and it's kind of ugly, but you barely get on base. But then you might get a home run someday, and if the bases were loaded, you might get a grand slam. So I kind of think about that baseball analogy in YouTube, that a lot of times you're just putting out a video and trying to get a base hit. And so, like, you know, put a gift ideas video up. And early on, my wife, Sonia, she did gift ideas for her. We lived in Vegas at the time. We were working at a church, and then we were in Irvine for a while, and we were campus pastors while still working at a church. So this was all a side hustle, you know? And so once we found kind of an idea, we'd go really deep. That we went deep on that series. She did gift ideas for her, a couple versions. I did like gift ideas for creative people. And so it was just kind of that grind of putting out videos, learning, making mistakes. But I started to kind of figure out, okay, I'm getting better at it, better at spotting trends, better at using the tools. And so then when you would have a breakout video, that Christmas lights video was like a grand slam. Because also what's crazy, Logan, is I was just looking it up, and the first year it got about 100,000 views. But then actually the next Christmas, the next holiday season,
dang.
And fast forward to today, it got 7,000 views in the last year. And it's not the holidays at the time of recording this podcast. So I might get like 30. It's going down because now it's older. But it's over 500,000 views now. And that's called a ranked video. So this is a major grand slam. It made $4,000 in that first year. It's over $10,000 now, one video. But I wouldn't want, you know, to mislead listeners to think like every single day I just print a video that makes $10,000 in its lifetime. But I think, you know, what we're obsessed with here at Think Media is like working the system. Like we have a 7-step system. Like let's just keep working the system. And maybe sometimes you get $2 and sometimes you get 20, and sometimes you have a video that pays you $200 a year for the next 5 years. And so I remember the emotions I was feeling, because in 2016 we had barely started Think Media. It was very chaotic, meaning Think Media had been started on the side. We had gone all in. Risk is what it felt like. So my wife and I, no kids at the time, 2 Chihuahuas, Sophie and Rosie, and just like heads down, trying to, you know, be like, can this thing work? Can this thing actually take off? And also kind of scattered, because that wasn't even a Think Media video, but I like to do things that were case studies. But also when I saw an opportunity, it was nice to have a channel to experiment on. And so having a win like that was so encouraging, because we needed money for the mission. Like we were always just like, yeah, let's put another one out. And so having a breakout video. But the other way I like to think about it is I always like to think about, I like if YouTube videos pay my bills. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But like, it's kind of a dream. I'm like, what if essentially I could invest in something, and then it's something I would want to invest in anyways, but then YouTube pays for it. Like, let YouTube pay the bill. So what do I mean? It's like, what if YouTube could pay for all my Christmas decorations this year? What if YouTube could pay for our travel? And we started to experience that, especially once you learn the skills, to be like, okay, if we want to buy a drone and buy a camera and buy some plane tickets, and that could get into all this stuff about when you really stick to stuff seriously, you're now no longer doing it necessarily as a hobby, but it's now a business, and it's kind of even a tax write-off. Like, what if YouTube could support my lifestyle besides just the income, but even the way you think about it? So seeing that video, I was like, this video paid for all of our Christmas gifts, obviously made our money back on the lights. And I'd like to encourage people, you don't have to buy something, but that's what I started to do each holiday season. Meaning you could just go to your garage and start making videos about the tools you already have and whatnot, and tap into the power of affiliate marketing. But I would start shopping in preparation for the season, lining stuff up that I would make videos about, lining stuff up that I would test. Of course, once you start building momentum, brands will send you things for free. But I'd buy a lot of things, like things that I'd research, purchase it with faith by this time that the system works. And I always thought in my mind, if I purchased, in the case of our main channel, talking about tech, if I purchased a $200 light kit, besides my time and energy, I'm like, all I have to make back is $201, and this made money, and I have the light kit. And so I would start kind of thinking about strategically, okay, what videos could I make? What maybe things are people interested in at the intersection of also my hobby, which is like tech and cameras and all this stuff. And so it's kind of exhilarating. I mean, and it's kind of a little bit risky, but you also start kind of seen through the matrix almost, where you're like, I'm kind of starting to learn how to rank videos, and maybe I have a dud or two, a couple failures, but then you got the Christmas laser lights that does 4,000, and then over the next 5 years does over $10,000. And that rising tide lifts all ships financially. And those are the kind of things that helped us ultimately scale our company into what it is today.
Yeah, I love hearing the evolution of that. And I think that's such a great reminder that you don't have to go and buy something. You might actually already own that. And then you're authentically sharing as well, like your Christmas list guide for him. Those were things you did love. So you're being authentic, you're connecting with your audience and your community. So I absolutely love that reminder. Okay, another thing I want to know is about your wife. How did that impact the both of you? You were business partners, but you were also partners and a married couple. And it sounds like there was kind of a grind for those first few years. You get this awesome income. How did your wife handle that? How did it affect your relationship? And kind of what were the next steps as well after that one breakout video?
Yeah.
iPhone 16e has a durable design and ceramic shield because the average person drops their phone 208 times a year. Make that 209 once they see the price. iPhone 16e, latest iPhone, greatest price.
Never hide your Reese's eggs in a basket. I mean, come on. It's the first place they'll look.
Yeah, well, it certainly was a grind. And I think talking about the weight of being married to an entrepreneur, being entrepreneurs together, since we're co-founders, co-owners of the business, but also the grind started before then. So even just to honor the hustle she put in, she's always been, today, she's our chief financial officer and like lead bookkeeper. And it's crazy. We're adding to the team, but it's wild what she is handling at Think Media. But all the way back to when we barely had any money to manage, she was always like managing our checkbook and the finances. And always, we just would communicate. And one of the things that's so amazing about her is her belief and support of kind of the God-given vision I've always had. And because honey, I want to invest in this or make this purchase. And probably never did she really oppose it. She's like, okay, let's take that risk. Let's take that step. Maybe like, maybe now's not the time, but it was always like, let's figure it out. Let's do that. So she's very much a woman of faith. And, so it was a hustle up to starting YouTube. Almost like when we finally got to starting it, we were like tired when we were starting. So we were then excited because I was like, well, we're going all in. But when we actually started YouTube about a year before the Christmas lights, and what I mean is when we went full time, it was at October of 2015, of a year earlier. And the reason we went full time was because I had 3 freelance clients. That was our main income. And all 3 fired me in 1 month. And that was stressful. And I don't know if she was worried. She probably had like more faith than me. Like, I think we'll be all right. And I was like, I don't know. And we were 6 months away from zero in our bank account in October 2015. But then at that point, instead of pursuing other video production clients, I went all in on our personal brand, our personal channels. And so we were just in that first year of now as a couple starting. And we're talking, people say, should you set up an LLC if you're starting a YouTube channel and like get things official and whatnot? Wisdom probably is if it's serious. We have a good episode with Tyler Chow, who talks, she's a creator's attorney. We'll link to that in the show notes, where she talks about some of that stuff. But we didn't. It was chaos. It was like my social security number was the entity. So there was no LLC. We're all dialed in today, but it was like, we have Amazon income coming in, some YouTube income. We're trying to kind of take that money, trying to scale it up. And, on the flip side, I also think we go into it, we're already a little fatigued, shaken from the previous season. We'd come out of working at a church. But also kind of, I think, excited. And honestly, like looking back now, you feel overwhelmed. The learning curve is intense. The pressure is real. But actually, we look back, it seems like simpler days. And by the way, we had no kids. So it was simpler days. Now we have a 2-year-old and 4-year-old boy. It's a whole different. And so the season of life, that kind of stuff matters. So it was really, we were just like kind of ride or die together. And she was super supportive. But what was also funny is, she hated the Christmas lights. But I was like, Sonia, trust me. She's like, I just want better lights. I'm like, trust me. Because those are the only ones I actually literally left up at our house that year. And then around January or whatever, I was like, babe, you know, around $4,000 has come in from Amazon affiliates from this. And now she's like, I love those Christmas lights. Like, now, wait a minute. Like, you know, the different, I don't love the way they look, but okay. And so it was weird. It was almost like she would just get behind my like quirky creative ideas. And man, and so fun, because while very emotional roller coaster, you know, for those that are starting YouTube, thinking about starting, just embrace the joy of the journey. You know, try to remember to breathe, have fun, embrace the chaos, embrace the uncertainty. It was all of those things, but it was a huge blessing. And she's always been a massive pillar and rock for not just then, but for where we are today.
Wow, this might be a little off topic, but it makes me think of other creators who are just starting out. They have a small channel and maybe they have a partner who's not supportive, or they really just don't have one or two people in their community to come alongside them and be a pillar of faith, or at least an encourager. Do you have anything to speak into that or to encourage those creators who might be facing that?
Do you want to escape the 9 to 5 but feel like YouTube success requires millions of views and viral videos? Well, think again, because we are hosting a one-day intensive online workshop revealing the shortest path to real income on YouTube, even with a small audience. It's called YouTube Money Secrets, and during this live virtual event, you'll learn how to pick high-paying video topics, master new opportunities in affiliate marketing, and even attract high-paying clients. If you go to tubemoneysecrets.com, you can get all of the details and grab your ticket. This is a no-fluff event packed with tactical information and an accompanying workbook so that you can implement these strategies right away. Plus, I'm also going to be sharing my most lucrative video secrets to show you how to get your channel monetized fast. And the timing of this event is highly strategic because the fourth quarter of the year, as well as New Year's itself, is the most perfect time to ride the wave of online shopping and maximize your YouTube earnings. Limited spots are available, so go to tubemoneysecrets.com to register for this powerful virtual event. I think first and foremost, accept that like, it just is lonely.
Just spray, then play. With Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed killer.
Try Always Discreet pads for bladder protection that bunches 25% less often than Poise.
Is lonely. If you have a partner or a close friend that supports you, that's a huge blessing and pretty rare. For most, and you could call this entrepreneurship, even though you might just be doing this as a side hustle or a hobby kind of on the side that you'll make some money from. Entrepreneurship is lonely. It is the rebel path. It's kind of the renegade path where you're venturing into the unknown and into something that is uncommon. And you have to have a level of vision, not certainty, but faith yourself that is internal for you that maybe this could work. I'm going to keep trugging along in the darkness. I see something. Entrepreneurs by nature have a vision, and a vision would be seeing something others don't see. Eyes of faith, seeing something that is a possibility on the horizon. So just accepting that nobody else might see your vision. Nobody else might not believe in what you believe in and what you can see for your future. But be willing to walk the lonely road. Many have walked it before you. And when I think about that, I also think about, it's kind of a sidetrack to your sidetrack, like where Think Media is today, where the channels are established, you're here, the team is incredible, things are growing, we're doing a lot. And sometimes people even still think like, wow, Sean, you post a lot of content. I'm like, well, kind of, but it's also because we're cutting it up and we have a social media manager and they post it too. And I heard this quote from John Maxwell that said, in the beginning, I got less credit than I deserve, but today I get more credit than I deserve. And because today the team makes me look good. But in the beginning, I got less credit than I deserved because people don't see the long nights and the stress and you wanting to quit. And a lot of times your spouse doesn't even really know the full pressure you're going through, or the self-doubt or the insecurity. You get less credit than you deserve because nobody sees it yet. The breakthrough hasn't happened yet. So I just connect that to you starting this thing is going to feel lonely. It's going to be, a solo path possibly for a while. I think secondly would be, can you enlist your partner? And I would expect them not to trust you and believe in you. It's kind of a weird way to say, but sometimes they're like, wait, you want to start a YouTube channel? And there's all other things going on in your relationship. Well, I already might feel like my needs aren't being met, or like the last thing you did didn't work out, or I've stressed because of the pressure I'm feeling, and now you want to do something else. So I think if you think holistically, honey, how could we do this? Honey, this is what I see. Maybe having some conversations about the creator economy stats and the creator economy is going to double in the next 3 years, Goldman Sachs research said. Having some conversations of like, hey, this is something I would want to do. What would it look like to have your support? And not expecting them to support you. They don't see the same vision, or they don't listen to the Think Media podcast, or they haven't seen all the stats. So having some conversations to process those issues together, that not feeling entitled to their support without giving them information, allowing them to ask questions, and then maybe proving yourself and then following through. Be consistent, not just with like listening to this podcast, but be consistent with posting. Like what would it look like? What would show you, honey, that I'm taking this seriously? And if I do this, how could you be bought in? What would it take for you to be bought in? Well, I just really need help with the kids on Saturday. So if I did that, like, could I start working on my channel on Tuesday nights? Yeah, I think make a plan together, like have a conversation, like really talk it out. What's the vision? Maybe how many hours a week are you going to do at the start? And then I think lastly is connect with the community. I know that pretty much every other year we do an event called Grow a Video Live in Vegas. And it's always like, it's like heaven on earth for creators. Other people wouldn't even like it. But if you're like a creator, all the lonely people get together. Like, here's the people that understand me. Like, here's the other people who know what I'm going through. And there's something about 99% of people that you run into at Starbucks or Dutch Brothers, aren't going to probably understand this whole content creator economy type of stuff. They're not going to be able to relate. So it can feel lonely even still on the journey. But then when you get around somebody else who does, there's just a vibe, there's a connection. And so the cool thing is there's a lot of virtual communities. And so get into something, find a group. We have groups that people could be a part of, and we can link to those and, show notes and stuff. Because I definitely think, like I heard a quote that said, if you want to know who you're going to be in the next 5 years, just look at the books you're reading and the people you're around. And so that's going to be a picture of who you are. And I think the modernization of that quote would be, you want to know who you're going to be in the next 5 years? What podcasts are you listening to? What audiobooks are you listening to? What YouTube channels are you subscribe to? And then what groups are you in? And that could be accountability. In fact, I heard one of the secrets to Mr. Beast's success, and I know he's had some controversy recently, but no doubt about it, he's built massive success on YouTube. And he talks about that when he was small, when he was just getting started in the early days, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he explained that he created a group of what he called 5 other YouTube psychos, YouTube geeks, people that are just obsessed with YouTube. And they met on Skype at the time every single day for 1,000 days in a row. And so maybe there's nobody else, but if you could get 1, 2, or 3 other YouTube geeks in your circle, we see that consistently in other forms of business. People that they form what are called masterminds. And you could join, there's paid opportunities. There's also ones you could do for free. You can make your own. Try to get around some people. Iron sharpens iron. And I think not only is that helpful if you feel kind of lonely, I think it's actually critical to success. It's a fundamental principle we've seen historically in a lot of industries. If you can link arms with other people that are doing it, it's really going to help you get there faster, not just on the practical tip side, but the psychological, emotional side for just what it takes to embrace the challenge and pressure of really the creator career.
Hello, handsome. And hello, random chair. Clean up with Apple Intelligence means goodbye chair. iPhone 16e, latest iPhone, greatest price.
If you like options, you'll love my $6 all-day big deal meal. Choose from 4 delicious entrees and 5 tasty sides with a drink. Oh, and nobody else includes breakfast items all day. Just this guy. At Jack, every bite's a big deal. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
challenge and pressure of really the creator career.
Wow. Thank you for derailing with me. I love the transparency behind that, especially for those creators that are watching and do feel lonely, to know that it is just a season. And if you do get people around you, things will look up. And you're so right. People have gone before us and before other creators as well and have experienced it. And how crazy. First, Skype, I kind of forgot what that was for a second. And 1,000 days, that commitment is insane. And I know we can think about what ifs and all of those scenarios, but it's really interesting to think if your partner hadn't been supportive and a pillar of faith for you, where this company would be. And I'm sure your God-given vision has shifted as you started out as a small channel and it's morphed into a company with over 30 employees for you. But I love hearing her pillar of faith for you. I think that's really special. Kind of getting the train back on the track. So your original channel was more reviews and products that you used and loved. What would you say for a creator with maybe a different niche that doesn't, just looking at the channel, it doesn't necessarily align with affiliate marketing? So for example, maybe like a gaming channel, or maybe like a Bible study channel or a kids channel. What advice would you have for somebody in a different niche that maybe is having a hard time seeing outside of the box of how can they make money with affiliate marketing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, if we use those examples, I think a big thing for success in affiliate marketing is also your entire channel doesn't have to be devoted to product reviews or even be super aligned with it. You only just need a couple of videos. So if you're a gaming channel, you could do a video on your setup. You could do a behind the scenes video of your office. And then in that case, here's the PC I'm streaming with. Here's my capture card. Here's my light kit. Here's my gaming chair. And you could do some affiliate marketing type videos. You know, what's kind of cool is there's new stuff like YouTube Shorts are not just now up to 3 minutes, but they're also connected to YouTube Shopping, which is another form of monetization. In this case, you only need 500 subscribers, I'm pretty sure, to start doing this, and 3,000 hours of watch time. And then you can do affiliate marketing directly through YouTube itself. So for example, if you made a YouTube short about your gaming chair, then you just connect the product right to it. And listeners might be familiar with TikTok shopping. There's Amazon Inspired now. It's kind of like shopping on Instagram. It's integrated right there. Well, you can start doing affiliate marketing on these vertical videos. So maybe some of the shorts on your channel, your gaming chair. Now, if you're a Bible study channel, again, maybe you're typically doing Bible studies and it wouldn't be relevant to talk about products, but you could maybe talk about your 5 favorite study Bibles ranked and then link to those 5 study Bibles as affiliates in the description. And whether that's Christian booksellers, distributors' website, or a website like Daily Grace Co. They have an affiliate program. Bible pens, journals, these different things. Of course, different products on Amazon. That could be, I always use rulers when I underline, and I'm very meticulous about the pen I use for my scripture reading because I don't want the pen to bleed through. And I need I need a 1.0 on the ball pen, ballpoint, not the 0.5, that's too thin, not 1.5, it's too thick. And it needs to, and I get the red and the blue, usually Bic, and that's what I use there. For my journal, though, I don't use those. So, you know, maybe I use G2s in my journal. Pilot G2, what a pen.
Wow, you heard it here, folks.
Links in the description down below. And so, just kidding, but no, we probably should. Anyways, and so, you know, I think that's the Bible study channel. Now, if you think about the kids channel, that actually is not something we're going to be able to do because you can't market to children. And technically, YouTube Kids might be under 13. You could be on YouTube if you're over 13. I think FTC has some things where, again, you can't be promoting products to children, and I'm not sure what age that really is. Not only that, how are they going to buy it? Like, what, does this 12-year-old have a credit card? So then you might get into the idea, well, okay, but what if parents are watching the video? Okay, well, is that relevant to your channel? So if you had a kids channel where you're reading kids books and it's for entertaining kids, like, listen, my kids, my 2-year-old and 4-year-old, they're like not capable of like completing a purchase right now, you know, from watching a YouTube video.
love my natural hair, but not what hoodies were doing to it. So I made my own. Chasing Philly helps my business grow, one hoodie at a time.
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours.
Dull gum. Fancy gum. Icebreakers. Ooh, fancy.
I'm watching a YouTube video. I know some people are like, yeah, but those in-game app purchases, like $100 of like rubies in your game, you know, like turn it off, parents. And so, you know, it's just different things. That's going to be a question of what is the best way to make money on my channel? So I wouldn't say affiliate marketing is for everyone. It's probably for 95% of channels, but whether it's kids, there's a few niches where it doesn't work as good. And I think the point is not to make your entire channel about it in many cases. The point is that certain videos could be relevant, where a lot of times it could be your behind the scenes or the stuff you use. And it doesn't have to be so linear. Sometimes people just want to know if you had like a business-based or service provider-based channel, it's a lot of times the stuff you use. It's your office tour. It's the tour of your tool truck. It's the stuff you use to clean up your garden or pressure wash your house siding and all kinds of things. And we know that Amazon is the everything store. And when we think about it, there's pretty much everything. There's products for everything. Software, maybe email that you use in your business, like, you know, email software. It's pretty endless. And so again, we talk about so many different ways of making money. We're doing in that YouTube Secrets, YouTube Money Secrets event we're talking about like over 10 concrete high earning strategies, even if you have a small audience, that are not all based on affiliate marketing. There's a lot of different ways you can make money on YouTube. And so affiliate marketing is one of my favorites, but you want to find the best one that aligns with your channel.
I'm so glad you touched on the kids' channels because we get so many questions about people wanting to start a kids' channel and possibly, you know, affiliates or what it could look like to make a product, which is a whole separate thing. But thank you for sharing about that. I know it can be kind of hard to find information on YouTube regarding that. And one thing that I've heard you talk about also, it's a super niche tip, but to find the affiliate program with the highest commission. And a student that I know you've interviewed and I've seen you on Coffee with Candle with her is Jacqueline. And she really hyper leveraged raised garden beds for a higher paying commission. Did you want to speak into that? I know you've spoken with her, but I love her story. I think it's really inspiring.
Yeah, man, I love Jacqueline's stories as well. And so when I think about her story, while Jacqueline was growing her channel, and I want to say she maybe had gotten it to close to 10,000 subscribers, maybe quite a bit less, still working her full-time job, making videos only on her phone. I believe she's upgraded since then, but she's like, I'm working a full-time job. I live in Florida. The channel's called The Wild Floridian, and she's making videos about what she loves, how to garden in that climate. And she's making videos on her phone, editing on her phone. If her kids are watching Bluey, she'd be just opening up simple editing software from a simple video she shot. And she was looking for ways to make extra money on the side and even have that path to doing this full time. And so she started asking, okay, what kind of affiliate programs would be related to my channel? Well, of course, there's tools, gardening tools on Amazon and whatnot. But one of the things I would encourage people to do is look for specific websites specifically related to your channel topic that potentially offer you better terms than Amazon. So she found this raised garden bed specialty website, and they offered raised garden beds that were like rust proof. Very key for her climate because of all the humidity and all of that. So this speaks into the mindset you would put into this. Okay, what is a good product that really could be related to my niche, that other people in a climate like this, Florida or not, but if it's humid, like it could be a great solution to their problem. So this gets into the aspect that, again, our ethic at Think Media is not just make shallow videos quickly about products as a cash grab, but to realize this can be a win-win-win when the audience loves the product that they find, and then a retailer gets some promotion through content creators that are micro, nano influencers that are making videos. And so she found this raised garden bed company. And I want to believe that she might have, by the time she had, let's call it 6,000, 7,000 subscribers. So established, but not huge, and still working her full-time job. I think she emails them and they actually agree to send her a free bed to test. So it's something people could start doing. You don't need a huge channel, but it's helpful if you're in a specific niche, because they're like, what is a perfect channel? And their hard cost of goods is a lot less than even the price of the product, right? Because they have marketing and whatnot. So she gets one of these raised garden beds, tries it out, gets the whole thing going, loves it, like sees the quality, sees the build. And the other cool thing about this website was there are all these unique shapes, heart-shaped garden bed, like crescent moon shaped, like different things. She's just finding something super cool. Take the time to test it. Buy it if you need to. Maybe you've already invested in it. Maybe it's something somebody else knows about. Like, wait a minute, like, my other gardening friend is telling you about something that's so amazing. They can't stop raving about it. That's the kind of word of mouth we're talking about. It's like YouTube is word of mouth and people are looking for cool things. And then she finds out that they offer between 10 and 20% commissions. So there's like a rate sheet on Amazon. Like for cameras, we get 4%. If you had like a grocery channel, you were talking about pantries, but it's like 1% if you're talking about pantry type stuff. Cool, but a lot lower. If you were talking about luxury goods, luxury purses or things, it's like 10% on Amazon. So knowing the percentage is important if you're thinking about how much money could I earn. Well, this website also discloses anybody can sign up for the affiliate program. You can go through the terms. If someone's listening to this, like or search for different